Sunday looks nice with highs in the low 80s and more sun. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Get 0% financing up to 48 months with approved credit. Now on select Kubota track loaders and excavators. Get a Kubota. Now through December 31st, 2024. See Capital Tractor Montgomery and Brundage or KubotaUSA.com for details.
1819 News.
Governor Ivey will be appointing a new district attorney for Montgomery County very soon. The current DA, Daryl Bailey, officially retired last week after 10 years serving as the district attorney and 30 years total of working within the DA's office. Azzy Oliver was sworn in as interim district attorney until the governor makes a permanent appointment. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
On November 15th, you can have dinner with Eric Metaxas right here in Alabama. Metaxas, the author of Bonhoeffer and Letter to the American Church, will keynote 1819 News' first annual Albert Patterson Gala on November 15th at the Barber Motorsports Event Center in Birmingham. To learn more and sponsor a table, visit 1819news.com/gala. Again, that's Eric Metaxas on November 15th. Go to 1819news.com/gala to learn more.
A shooting at a bar in Mobile has left a victim with life-threatening injuries. The incident happened at Haley's Bar on Dauphin Street this past Sunday. The victim was not the intended target of the shooting. Apparently, a man and a woman had an altercation within the bar, and the shooter intended to target another person but missed and then hit the victim as he stood in the back of the bar. 50-year-old Michael Sullivan has now been taken into police custody. The 10th Safe Haven baby box has been installed in Alabama. The latest one will be located in Athens at the EMS station on Horton Street. The Safe Haven baby box is being sponsored and funded by the Farmers Federation and the Home Builders Association of Limestone County. These Safe Haven baby boxes are built with an audio alarm that goes off should someone place their baby in that box. EMS crews will then be alerted and take the baby to a hospital for care. The Safe Haven law here in Alabama allows for a mother to surrender their baby anonymously to authorities for up to 45 days after giving birth. I'm Andrea Tyson.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Football season is here. Do you have your picks in on Sleeper? Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, and you could win up to 100 times your money. For new users, Sleeper will even match your first deposit with up to $100 credit to your account. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code MONDAY for a credit up to $100 match on your first deposit. That's code MONDAY. Must be 18 years in most states and in state where it is legal. Promo code and other restrictions apply. Visit sleeper.com. Please wager responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-426-2537 for help. Sponsored by Sleeper, a Blitz product.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program here on a lovely Tuesday in the river region out of Montgomery, Alabama. I do like the weather, but when I look at the political cycle, well, let's talk about the weather. But actually, here's beginning the show, one of my favorite people to talk politics, but of course, say political philosophy and the values, ideals we hopefully strive for in this nation. The one, the only Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm well, Joey. How are you, my friend?
I'm all right. As I was trying to introduce the show, I look up and we have TV monitors here in the studio, and there's Liz Cheney, and it brings up something I wanted to discuss with you. I find it difficult to buy, love or hate Donald Trump, that Liz Cheney is presenting herself as a champion of the Constitution.
Hmm.
What say you?
Well, I find it very complex. I really don't agree with her on anything, particularly on war, where she mimics her father's view. She's a classic, pardon me, neocon. However, I have many friends who are conservative Republicans and are supporting Kamala Harris for the reason that they believe that the Republican Party under Donald Trump doesn't stand for principles. It just stands for whatever he is interested in at the moment. It needs to be broken down, rid of him. This is their argument, not mine.
Right.
And reconstructed from the bottom up in the Barry Goldwater, Ronald Reagan mode. There are many, many, many Republicans, many office holders that I've spoken to who don't want to articulate that, and ordinary conservative Republican folks who believe that way. And so they're sort of cheering Liz Cheney on. But as for her, I don't think she personally is an attractive vote getter for a vice president.
Yeah, and I find all these people saying I'm a champion of the Constitution, like you, sir, are a champion of the Constitution. There's no doubt about it. I know you probably have many friends, let's say, in the legal world who are true champions of the Constitution and, say, natural rights. Not as many as we maybe would like, sitting on very powerful seats in the judiciary, but some. But I find that whether most politicians, they say I'm a champion of the Constitution or he or she is a threat to the Constitution, I'm sitting here wondering what operational Constitution are we talking about? For instance, I look at Donald Trump not as a man who necessarily threatens the Constitution, but as a man who threatened the system that's been wearing the Constitution like a skin suit for a few decades now. Pardon me. So it seems like it's a wash because of the way this country's history has gone. The Constitution, we give a lot of lip service to it. Some of us might actually believe in it, but it seems the folks that actually run the government don't.
Couldn't agree with you more. I mean, the Constitution has utterly and completely failed as an instrument to restrain the federal government. I mean, it has basically given us the three-part governmental system that we've had for 250 years now, executive, legislative, and judicial. But in terms of, as Jefferson would say, tying the government down by the chains of the Constitution, it has utterly failed. The Congress has found ingenious ways around it by spending money in areas where it can't regulate and bribing the states and getting them to do the regulations that Congress wants by paying the states to do it. That's a form of bribery. The Congress has found ways of waging war without declaring it, by funding wars, but just not declaring it because there's no legal basis to declare it. The courts have allowed the Congress to regulate just about everything you see from where you are, from the microphone you're using to the color blue, the dye in your beautiful blue sweater, to the number of legs on the chair you're sitting on. If you have a tuna fish sandwich at lunch, the federal government regulates the number of tuna that can come from the sea and puts a federal inspector on the boat to count the tuna. I'm just giving you an absurd example of the degree to which federal intrusion has come into our lives, purportedly under the Constitution. They'll find a clause like the Commerce Clause, which was intended by Madison to make certain that commerce flowed from state to state free of tariffs. And they'll enact a regulation like the color of the ink in your shirt and say, well, because it affects interstate commerce, we can regulate it. Well, that's not what the Constitution says, but that's how the courts have interpreted it. That's how the Congress has followed it. That's why we run deficits of $2 trillion a year, and why the federal government regulates almost literally everything under the sun. Yes, I believe in the Constitution. Yes, I believe in natural rights. There are very few members of the judiciary who share those views with me. Very few.
Well, and in our history, for folks who don't know, and I learned this from you, the way folks still, to a large degree, talk about protecting the freedom of speech that sort of very strict scrutiny was applied to our economic rights once before. It was your liberty to buy and sell, to trade, to make and break contracts was inviolable as your right to speak your mind.
And then a footnote in a case, turns out, was written by one of the justice's law clerks. The justice who signed the opinion never read it. The other justices never thought about what it meant. Basically said, for the federal government to interfere with fundamental expressive liberties, religion, speech, assembly, petitioning the government, press, the court would have to meet the strict scrutiny test, meaning the court would apply the strict scrutiny test, meaning the government would have to show that what it is doing is the least restrictive way to accomplish it. The footnote in this case, called Caroline Products, removes from that protection economic activity. So the government can regulate economic activity by showing a rational basis, any rational basis, even something as irrational as the color of the ink in your sweater affects interstate commerce, therefore Congress can regulate it. Well, the affects interstate commerce test would allow Congress to regulate anything under the sun, according to Justice Thomas, even a Tupperware party before Tupperware went bankrupt.
Well, and I think it goes into, I love the idea of pre-political rights, but I think there's also pre-political ideas and concepts of how a society should be ordered, who should maybe be respected in society, that get tied up in all this, in the concept of freedom. I'm, of course, thinking of Elon Musk right now. Last week, I went on quite a rant about the Coastal Commission in California. I love your angle on it, want to get into that. But I said it's maybe a little rude that these are inferior people because of their inferior concerns. I'm not talking about in the eyes of God, but it does seem like you give man a little bit of power and they want to put strings on a visionary like somebody like Elon Musk, who can now fire off some of the largest rockets ever known to man faster than, say, the FAA can file paperwork. So it seems like that we're losing respect for the innovator, for the visionary, in the process of losing our liberties on the political end.
Well, the California Coastal Commission case is a pretty serious one. I don't know if he has filed an application for an injunction before a federal court. I encourage the on air to do it. He doesn't need my encouragement. He's very litigious and he's very sensitive about his fundamental liberties. But in this case, I don't remember if we talked about it. I wrote about it last week. But in this case, Elon Musk, as everyone knows, has SpaceX. So he shoots a spaceship, for lack of a better phrase, that's the size of a 25-story office building, into the sky, and it has a payload on it. Payload belongs to the federal government. He has a contract with the federal government to deliver that payload to a group of satellites in space. The California Coastal Commission is a group of bureaucrats that regulate private, I will say it again, private property and the use of private property in California. And they denied him permission to fire off his spaceship because, according to two members of the California Coastal Commission, he spoke political falsehoods about FEMA and about climate control. Now, under the First Amendment, there is no such thing as a political falsehood. You can hold any political opinion you want. And under the First Amendment, the government cannot take into account your political opinions when it's enacting regulations that affect you. So he effectively is being punished, as is the federal government, by these bureaucrats in California because they don't like his political views. A similar thing happened to him in the case of an order served on X for the contents of Donald Trump's X, formerly known as Twitter, account. The order was given by a federal judge, obtained by the special counsel Jack Smith, but accompanying the order was another order saying the recipient of this order shall not discuss it with anyone. Now, Musk wanted to tell Trump, hey, the feds came calling. We complied with it, but you should know, and your lawyer should know, they have the contents of your Twitter account made while you were the president of the United States. The judge refused to change the order. Musk appealed it to a federal appeals court. They ruled against him 3-0. He appealed it to the Supreme Court of the United States, which last Monday, not yesterday, but last Monday, decided not to hear the case. These are two major infringements on his freedom of speech. Now, he's no Archangel Gabriel.
Right, yes.
He is engaged in a lottery designed to get people to vote for Trump, which is a very, very, very dubious lawfulness as to whether he can do it. Put your name on a pad, on a ticket, and put it in a hat. If he pulls it out and you say, I'm in favor of the First Amendment and the Second Amendment, a subterfuge for him in favor of Donald Trump, who's in favor of neither, you can win $1 million. So I'm not necessarily defending Musk. I'm defending his freedom of speech.
Yeah, and to me, it all goes together, wrapping up this conversation, that as you chip away at things like economic rights, it is bound to be sooner or later that you chip away at the more expressive rights. Yeah, I was having a conversation with my grandfather. We were watching some philosophical thing last night, and he's a very practical guy. He's like, well, why? Who cares? And I think an average American can go their whole life without reading one Supreme Court decision, without picking up any political philosophy book. But decisions made by those political philosophers, by those jurists, maybe 80, 100 years ago, they have ripple effects that are showing up today. And it just,
right.
It unnerves me that this it's a rising tide that I don't think is helping anybody, and at least if you believe in liberty.
I'm intrigued by your comment that the advancement of expressive rights will result in the advancement of economic rights. Richard Nixon, for all of his faults, believed the opposite, and history proved him right. He believed that by selling stereos and blue jeans to the Soviets, enhancing their economic rights, their personal liberties would follow. And von Mises believed the same thing. After a while, when you can buy and sell any product or good you want, you just naturally start talking about the free market and about the process of buying and selling, and you just assume you have the freedom of speech, and pretty soon you have it.
Yeah, and I do have to wonder, is it a chicken or the egg thing? Like, does it come from the economic freedom, or does it come from the prosperity, or does it come from sort of these beliefs that have long tendrils back into the Judeo-Christian tradition? So I think I'm happy either way, but it does seem like the advances, well, there's a waning, that it's going away in ways that I think both you and I do not like. I always appreciate the time that we have here, Judge. If folks want to check out your show, Judging Freedom, how can they do so, and who do you have coming up this week?
Well, I had Scott Ritter yesterday and Colonel McGregor tomorrow, but today I have Matt Ho on how serious is this intelligence leak of the Israeli plans to attack Iran. And Karen Kwiatkowski, I don't know if you know Karen. She's a PhD in political philosophy, but also a retired U.S. Air Force colonel. She writes for me. Her work also appears at LouRockwell.com. And our question today is, do elections matter? Or are we really governed by the deep state that remains the same no matter who the president is? She's going to take the opposite to argument, and I agree with her. But her argument is a fascinating one. She ran into some buddies my age, not hers, who had fought in the Vietnam War. And of course, they're around today, so they survived. And she said to them, "What were you fighting for?" They can't answer. You can ask that question to somebody who fought in Iraq and Afghanistan. They can't answer.
Oh, yes. And, well, on that note, I got to tune into that. That's fascinating. I will definitely be tuning in later this evening. You can always watch on YouTube, folks. That's where I tend to. Judging Freedom. And as always, Judge, I really appreciate the time, and God bless.
It's a pleasure, Joey. All my best to you. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Again, folks, that's Judge Andrew Napolitano. Always appreciate his time. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder. They're at Dillon Rings. Do not forget about Ladies' Night They're calling it Diamonds and Pearls. Special event coming up. I think off the top of my head, November the 7th. It'll be right after Election Day, and it's a great way to get amazing discounts and deals on the wonderful selection they have there at Dillon Rings. I mean, you're talking that night only. Amazing deals and discounts on some spectacular jewelry, but they also always have, fun things to do, as well as incredible spread of food. The catering, Eddie and I went last year, and what would you say, Eddie? Was that worth the time, just the food?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and then they had the bracelet station. They had all sorts of great things going.
If I remember correctly.
Mimosas as well, yeah. So ladies' night coming up. You can always go to DillonRings.com or just go to Dillon Rings on Facebook or Instagram to see what they have. But today, if you go to their Facebook page, Josh Ryder's reminding everybody that gold has climbed even higher today.
Oh, wow.
So you might be sitting on a stack of cash. There's a client that came in this morning, apparently, with some old chains and earrings and walked out with $1,400.
Ooh, Joey.
So what are you waiting for? Dig that old gold out and cash it in today, especially if it's something like you forgot about. That's just been sitting there forever, and you're like, wait, I used to wear a gold chain all the
night
time.
Back in the 90s, and you got a big old funky fresh medallion made, and you don't know what to do with it.
So they do it all there at Dillon Rings, folks, but especially if they buy gold from you. And coming up later, we have a guy named Paul Tudor Jones. He's a big billionaire investor, and he is very long on gold, long on Bitcoin. And so, when some of the big money folks are saying, I think gold's going to have a bright future here, as is other savings vehicles, well, why not? If you're cash strapped, you need a little infusion. They can help you out there at Dillon Rings. Again, you can always go online, Facebook, Instagram, DillonRings.com. But I really encourage you to stop by that showroom, 119 Brown Springs Road, right here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. And bonus points if you say Byron Sheehy also said hi.
Thank you, Joey.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Just trying to get caught up on some notes that the judge dropped on us. So,
okay.
Yeah, always an educational opportunity whenever he's on the air.
Yeah, and that one question of, I think it's a great question. Because there's a part of me, you've heard me say it on these airwaves, that I think this election is much more like watching WrestleMania or even being in the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you kind of affect the show. You're cheering, who you're booing, who you're cheering. That affects the outcome and what the show is eventually.
Right.
But I almost feel like, how the UK still has a king?
Yes. Ceremonial.
Yeah. It's almost like our presidents are ceremonial at this point. Yes. They still have some powers, but it doesn't feel like it's FDR. I'll put it that way.
How far do we have to go back before we saw a certain president on strings and, those get severed and replaced by someone else? Not too long ago.
Yeah. Well, and we've gone over before, like how not all executive orders, not all presidents are equal. Correct. So, for instance, if Obama uses his pen to sign an executive order, or Biden does, the bureaucracy, the civil service, like, yeah, we wanted you to do that. Yeah. We're ready to go, sir. Thank you, sir. When Trump signs one and it's something they don't want to do, they do everything within their power to go into the gray zone there without necessarily breaking the law. Sometimes I think they did, break the law to not do the executive order.
And who's policing them if they do break the law?
Their cousin.
Their buddies.
Yeah, Congress. Congress. And then you get into Congress and they hardly even write the bills. It's all the lobbyists who write the bills.
It's 100%.
It's the folks with the technical knowledge who write the bills.
It's a lot better in Congress from my experience, than it is on the state level. I mean, in Congress, you do
have some talented legislative aides.
Yeah, and I mean, committee staff, superb. But on the local level, it is more of lobbyists give you this, or hey, come find me and tell me what I need to know before I vote on this. In a lot of cases, I think it's whoever gets in their ear last.
Though I think the founders envision, especially as Judge Knapp calls him Little Jimmy, and James Madison, like short little guy, big brain though. They envisioned something more like a debate society, like a parliament. And at this point, that's not what the committee system is. It's a bureaucracy.
It is.
And it's based in seniority.
I mean,
so you might have the best idea. Who cares? How much money did you bring in so you can be a committee chair? And even if you brought in a bunch of money, you are committee chair, you better go, you know what's good for you on certain issues. It's nuts how it works.
You're starting to tell all the dirty secrets, Joey.
It's like, I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill. It's like, no,
it's not that way.
No, it doesn't work that way at all.
It's more like the Dave Chappelle skit where he does Sesame Street. And you see how nasty it is. Like, that's probably a better analogy.
That's Oscar, why are you such a crap? Bitch, I live in a trash can. Yeah. No, it's just there's so much about our system that I think more and more everyday Americans are starting to wake up to. Some don't really have the prerogative to, they just want to live life. But I think anybody who's been paying attention to politics is starting to realize it doesn't seem to be working how they said it works.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think the numbers bear it out whenever you see participation or lack of participation amongst a certain bloc. I mean, the people who are protesting, I get what the judge was saying about some Republicans feeling like I got to support Harris, but he also mentioned about the conservative or the Republican Party not being principled conservatives. How principled is it to throw away what you believe and identify with to spite your enemy?
Right. Well, and again, he was saying that's not his argument.
Right.
His friend's argument is that. And I've had this question too when Trump first came on the scene, and I didn't vote for Trump in 2016, but like I remember folks like George Will saying he's not principled, he's not a good, strong Reagan conservative. I'm like, wait, so Mitt Romney was?
Yeah,
John McCain was?
Give me an example in the past 10, 15 years of a principled politician.
Ron Paul.
About the only one I can come up with.
Thomas Massey.
And
he's pretty good.
Don't shoot me on this, but to sound like Walter from the Big Lebowski, at least it's an ethos, right? Even Bernie, I mean, he believes what he believes,
Yes,
right or wrong. So there are a few that,
Though even Bernie seems to have been bought or had his arm twisted in some way. At least, Ron Paul wouldn't endorse. He'd go home.
When was it he got neutered? Clinton in 16?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, they stole the thing from him. Clearly.
I think they bought it from him.
Well, but just think about how, they took it from Biden. They've been doing this for years in the Democratic primary.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now the political process has become so open to so many people are paying attention to it now. I think that even me, it shocked me.
Yeah.
I know they do it, but wow, they did it right in front of us and gave us the middle finger and said, what you going to do about it?
Oh, yeah. No, I love Jim Gaffigan saying at that Al Smith dinner, well, Cardinal, I guess it shows the power of prayer, and sometimes prayers take 3.5 years in a George Clooney op-ed. It is amazing. Like, all the stuff, you're like, oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist. And then to make that move, they bring in Hollywood. Yeah. They bring in the California Hollywood
100%.
interests. They bring in some of the other big Wall Street interests. They bring in all the big power players, from Pelosi to Schumer to Kamala herself and the Obamas. Don't forget the Chicago nexus.
Mm-hmm. Tay-Tay. I mean.
Oh, yeah, well, don't get me started on her. Right. That beanpole. Very talented, though.
Could use some meat on her bones.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but that's just my humble opinion. Who cares? But it is amazing how, they just do this, to your point, Eddie, in plain sight. We didn't do that. Kamala's great.
Forget what you saw.
She's full of joy.
If you remember, the big reason Biden picked her back in the day, and that, because remember, she dropped out, but she was the only one that stood up, called that man a racist. She put a real threat in the black vote in him. And I'm telling you, from a business point of view, when you can't beat them, you buy them out and you make them join your team. And that's exactly what they did.
I mean, you're spot on that, man. I mean, when you look at what the media did systemically to tear down Trump, I mean, that was to a large part of, why she was selected. They had to demonize him in some way.
Oh, yeah. No, and it's just, you start to see all the connections. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
No, you can't.
And again, folks are like, oh, conspiracy. I'm like, it's not even a conspiracy. In some cases, I think within the Democratic Party, it clearly was to get Biden out. Some folks conspired to be like the old man's kaput. He's done. He's like Lily von Stupp in Blazing Saddles, below the waist. And so that's a conspiracy. You literally had party insiders and donors and stuff get together and push Joe out. But I think the way the general system works, it's more like a confluence of interest.
Mm-hmm.
And they know what's good for them. And the beautiful thing is there are more and more Americans, because of that man on the TV right there, Donald John Trump, who are like, we're not like those folks. And it's beautiful to see that it is people of all different races. It's not necessarily all different genders or sexes. Like, that divide's still there. But we'll get into some of the latest polling, some of the latest reactions. There's a great op-ed out at the Federalist today saying Donald Trump, not Kamala Harris, is the one running a campaign full of joy. And if you've seen the meltdowns from the left about Trump's McDonald's thing, I think Tim Walz said something like, he disrespected McDonald's workers by doing that.
Hold on.
What are you talking about, Tampon Tim?
I think he saw one of the memes and took that as reality.
One of my favorite headlines was trying to lambast, Trump on accepting some sort of a fry pan. And he did it in front of hurricane victims or, some group affected, and completely not seeing the forest for the trees. Where was Kamala during all this, right? So they're trying to attack him for a PR stunt in front of the audience that their nominee has failed to deliver to.
Right.
So the irony there, it washed over me.
Well, and quick programming note, we will have, I believe, the mayor of Montgomery here at 1 o'clock. So in about a little under 30 minutes, he should be here. I'm going to talk some city issues. They're not necessarily city specific. There's different institutions that matter to the city, like education and a few other things.
Water parks.
Yeah. That I think I'd be nice to ask the mayor about. And we might even get, because he is a surrogate for Kamala Harris, just like, how's it going? How do you see which way is the cat jumping, Mr. Mayor?
Little election prediction from the mayor.
Why not?
Yeah. Get him on the record.
What do you think, Eddie?
Not a day for me to think, Joey. Not a day for me to think.
This
every day for me.
This part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And they're at Cole Plumbing. James and the team are ready to help you with any and all of your plumbing issues. Could be a big leak inside or outside your home. Well, they have this proprietary pipelining technology that allows them to solve that leak without making a big mess, like tearing up a bunch of drywall inside or digging up a huge hole outside. No, with precision and expertise, they'll solve the problem. Could be more everyday problems like clogged drain, low water pressure. Maybe you flush the toilet and it comes up through the shower drain.
So fun.
That might be something like a tree root invasion.
Yep. Something slowing it down.
Maybe, do I smell gas? Maybe you have a gas line leak. Or it could be you don't a problem per se, other than you want nicer things. You want to upgrade to, say, a tankless water heater system.
Taller toilet,
especially if the hips are starting to go. If you're getting up there in age, get a taller toilet. Or any new accessories in the bathroom and the kitchen. They can help you install those. So check them out today. That's Cole Plumbing. You can always go to coleplumbing.com or give them a call at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At Montgomery Men's Health, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
Montgomery Men's Health has years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call Montgomery Men's Health at 334-440-3663 or visit montgomerymenshealth.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now. Dial 334-440-3663 or visit montgomerymenshealth.com. Montgomery Men's Health, making it happen.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or
205-479-0839.
I see.
Yes, he is our preferred money man.
The money man with the money plan.
You've been paying attention.
Well, could you give us those numbers one more time?
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not an elk.
Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you?
Knights of Columbus.
I am not even going to make a comment.
Well, the baby liked it.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
This is Zach with Dry County Pond over here in Prattville, Alabama. We've been advertising on Blue Water Broadcasting here for a little while, and the results we've been getting are outstanding. If you're looking to do any advertisement, I would highly recommend Blue Water Broadcasting.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Hi, everybody. Still no raindrops in our future for the foreseeable future, really. Meanwhile, we have a warming trend underway. More sunshine today, comfortably low humidity with a high around 83. Clear skies, but not quite as cool at night. Tonight slowed down to about 54. We'll be in the middle 80s tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, probably Saturday too. Abundant sunshine, 50s at night with clear skies. Even Sunday looks nice with highs in the low 80s and more sun. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services, and their Pest Pro, Ashley and the team are ready to help you out with any and all of your pest control needs. Could be it's a one-time emergency job. They can help you in that regard, and they can get there quick and get the job done. Say it's ants in the kitchen or other problems like it's getting cooler, so you're starting to see certain critters sneak in there. Or it could be you're just looking for, as we head into the colder months, everyday trusted pest control company.
That's what you want, and that's who you want to do it.
And that's Pest Pro Services. And, you know, they're one of those businesses here it's local, to where it's your neighbors you're essentially spending money with. The money stays here in the local economy, and they really do a fantastic job.
Oh, yeah.
So check them out today. You can always call them at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or go to ppsriverregion.com. But if you search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces, you can see like all sorts of tips and tricks, like what is this bug?
Yep.
Or are you seeing these around these parts? Like, is it worrying you? Or they do great things there, Pest Pro, like highlight great athletes here, like high school athletics.
That's right.
I think they do an athlete of the week, these sorts of things. Like it just, again, great local business. But I know for a fact, Ashley's not only running a great shop herself, she helps with other small businesses.
Oh, yes.
She helps with a lot of nonprofits, a lot of charity events. These are just great folks to do business with. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie and Byron, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Let's go to Papa B. Hey, Papa B.
Hey, guys.
How you doing, bud?
Doing a little bit of yard work today.
Oh, nice.
It's a nice day to do
You
it.
know, I hate yard work.
What are you, mowing?
Joey, I can tell you for a natural fact, when you have crepe myrtles, it's kind of like having herpes.
Oh, dude. Yeah,
you can't get rid of them.
Nope.
You cannot get rid of them. You just, but anyway, yeah, had these big old crepe myrtle trees. They weren't bushes anymore. And I had to cut them down. But they keep springing up, and
Yes,
I
they
keep
do.
finding these big, thick roots. But anyway.
You see that over there, folks? That's Papa B denuded. Some crazy.
So in the news is James Carville. He's all worried about Trump rounding folks up and
Oh man,
everything. I mean, you've heard the hype. Everybody, it looks like anybody that's in the Democrat Party are all of a sudden worried that Trump is going to round people up.
Is Hillary worried about it?
Well, I mean, he didn't do it last time.
That's my point.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
You know.
Hey, for folks
So-
who don't know what you're talking about, here I believe is the key clip. This is Carville on MSNBC.
You know, the other question is, were you better off 4 years ago? Are you going to be better off in a penitentiary 4 years from now, or still having the right of free speech and the right of political dissent? Because that's literally what's on the ballot. And I suspect in 1941, I don't know if people thought they were better off than they were 4 years ago, or in 1861, what people thought. But I know this. When the Republic was threatened, people picked up arms and answered the call. Or you know, when the 1965, in the middle of the Civil Rights Movement, I think people decided they want to take matters in their own hands and create a better country. And that's what I hope we do here in the next 2 weeks.
Man.
I say, why, Jimmy, have you done something wrong? Oh, did you go to Epstein Island? Oh, my goodness, did you go to Pete Diddy's white party and stay at the treat afterward?
Have you seen this?
Oh,
Ed?
my-
He didn't get any of those invites.
Did you? James, did you know about everything that was going on and didn't say anything? You mean are you worried that Trump might actually prosecute crimes and criminals, you know, and not have these fake crimes that, you know, they've launched against him? I mean, yeah, if you've been all in that, Jimmy, yeah, you better be ready, because I think justice is coming for you. But I mean, as long as you're a law-abiding, tax-paying American citizen, you have nothing to worry about. That's all I've ever wanted: law-abiding, tax-paying American citizen. But if you're going to riot, if you're going to burn, if you're going to loot, if you're going to provide solace for people that are committing, you know, really human trafficking or any kind of human crime, you know, crimes against humanity, yeah, I got a problem with that, and I think you should be prosecuted for it, James. Anyway, am I wrong? I don't think so.
No, if you've actually committed crimes, yeah, you should be on the hook. I just find that some of these folks I don't think are even worried about, they're overstating the punishment, because this is exactly what they're doing to Trump, number one. And Trump didn't, to Byron's point, go after Hillary when he was actually encouraged to by his base, by folks around
Lock
him.
her up, remember?
Right. No, I think what they fear the most is that they lose control, that they get pink slips. I think that's what and I think they deserve those pink slips.
Yes, they do.
Let's be honest.
There's no question of it.
Our penal system in multiple states can't handle all the people that would be incarcerated for going after Trump. I mean, this is hollowed in and of itself.
But I think it is a preview of what's coming. I think there are probably violent protests, so to speak. Well, mostly peaceful protests. These sorts of things are probably right around the corner. It's the equivalent of I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I didn't hurt anybody. I just hurt your property. I didn't hurt you. It's okay to burn a building. I didn't hurt a person.
You're being Pollyannish,
Well,
man.
you
Look
remember-
at Kenosha. I mean,
Remember
you don't have to
that
go
the
too far
Democrats-
back.
Remember, the Democrats are great at a couple of things, and one of them is projecting. If they're telling you about, you know, somebody else doing something,
Yeah.
that's exactly what they've got in mind. And I can promise you this: no matter who wins this election, somebody's going to jail. I mean, if Trump does not win, he's going to jail, and so are a lot of us. And so I don't have any doubt about it. I have no doubt. Or our freedom is going to be stripped away first, and then we're going to go to jail.
Papa B, have you checked out the new song I put out on streaming platforms?
No.
It's called Where's the Liberty? And the first verse is, the taste is so bitter it's stuck on the tips of your teeth. It's that old Inquisition. Whose boot am I beneath? So blind to justice, the mob is out to settle the score. Rise up, scream out, protest more, more, more. But don't you know the tyrant in you is the tyrant in me? Where's the liberty? Well, actually, I say, don't you know the tyrant in you is the tyrant in me, and you just set him free. Where's the liberty? I think we're all playing with
That's very
fire.
clever. You wrote that?
Yeah, just look for it. Where's the liberty, Joey Clark?
Eminem better watch out.
Nice.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think this radio station is going to survive 4 years of Kamala Harris. Not in this present form.
I think there'll be a lot of heart
I don't-
attacks on air.
Cold dead microphones.
Strokes. Yeah. I see us needing a heart restarter in this room, a defibrillator. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, listen, thanks for letting me call in.
Appreciate it, man.
See you, man.
272-9228.
Do you think Antifa will be back if Donald Trump becomes president?
They're more an idea.
Because you haven't heard from them.
I think they're going to be well.
It's not a real group. It's just an idea.
I got a feeling, like you said, they'll be back.
Yeah.
Haven't heard from them, so kind of makes me think that when the Democrats in power, Antifa doesn't really do much.
We need to do a show in like full on black bloc outfit. Like where you're black, like you look, yeah, we'll do an Antifa show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
we're
know
not
you're
throwing
going.
any
I know
bricks.
you're
We're not
going.
setting anything on fire. We'll just be like all, blacked out and our face
Like a black
covered
mask?
and right, yeah,
Ski mask type stuff?
all that stuff.
I got a couple of them.
Not shower for a few days.
Yeah, that fits.
Dye your hair.
That fits.
Some highlighted color.
Start reading Trotsky. Actually, no.
No.
All those folks are now neoconservatives. Start reading, I don't know, Che.
Start reading how to get a pallet of bricks
Mal.
delivered in the middle of the night without anybody knowing about it.
What about that guy at outside one Minneapolis one, or it might have been Kenosha, where he has a crowbar and he's all blacked out, and like the peaceful protesters, the actually peaceful protesters, some young black women, see this guy going up to an AutoZone and just busting windows, and they chase him. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it's like, who's that?
Did he say, I work for the government, leave me alone?
Just another voter.
Oh, and God forbid this stupid Patriot Front thing comes up. Bunch of feds. Like, it's just, there's so many angles to this where it feels like this is almost an AI generated campaign. Like, Trump's working the McDonald's French fry counter, and we got folks delivering bricks in the middle of the night.
But the milkshake machines are working again.
I like that.
Or will be soon, hopefully.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joey. Hey, Eddie.
Hey, Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Thanks for letting me on. I enjoyed all the show. I enjoyed the judge earlier. So I've been here just a little bit, and I just wanted to send out kudos to y'all. I enjoy your show. And you know me, I'm just going to throw something out there, but it's in the news today. I think somebody in America leaked the plans that Israel had.
Yep.
Okay. Well, hey, that's what I'm wanting to talk about, but I do love your other callers. That last caller, I mean, I was following all that. But he kind of lost me on the end a little bit. But I'm kind of like Reagan. I don't have to agree on 100% of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But it doesn't mean I can't recognize that somebody thinks 80% my way. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
But anyway, hey, thank y'all for letting me talk. And who leaked the Israel plans? And was it the USA? I'm not saying it was the USA.
No, it is a Pentagon. It's a Pentagon senior staffer named Ariane Tabatabai.
Right.
Pentagon staff.
Right.
Senior staff.
Hey, did y'all know this? I saw something else. You remember Loretta Lynch, head of the DOJ up under Barack Obama?
Mm-hmm.
Right? She's suing the Pentagon on behalf of a Chinese company that wants to fly drones in America.
Yeah, DJI. Which, look a little bit further into it. I think you'll be surprised.
Well, I appreciate the call, Robert.
Thanks, Robert.
Hey, you guys have a good one.
You
I
too,
love
brother,
your
man.
show.
Thanks, man.
See you, bro.
It's part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And they're at the Goodson Group. Bo and the team are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy or sell a home here in the Montgomery and surrounding areas. Bo has been working in the River Region real estate market for nearly half a century now. And he's seen it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So he's a great guy to guide you through that buying or selling process. And it's not just buying and selling property. They have management services there at the Goodson Group should you want to rent out your home. And the crown jewel at the Goodson Group is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School and one of the most highly acclaimed and accredited real estate programs in the state. And the proof is in all the folks who have graduated from that weekly class and found great success as fully licensed realtors or more knowledgeable private players. So check them out online at thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. Did you know the current national average turn time to close on a mortgage is 48 business days? But not at Alabama Home Mortgage. At Alabama Home Mortgage, our average close time is 16 business days. That's a month faster than the rest. How do we do it? With over 60 years of combined experience in the industry. Our team knows mortgages. Our years of experience yield a better experience for our customers. Folks, time is money. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, don't waste time with another mortgage company, bank, or credit union. We close on time, every time. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our fast turn time is just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm Wes Allen, Secretary of State. In Alabama, election integrity is a top priority. We must ensure fair, secure, and transparent elections. To vote in Alabama, state law requires voters to present a valid form of photo identification. For a complete list of acceptable identification, or to learn more about acquiring a free photo voter ID, visit alabamavotes.gov.
This message is presented by Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Should have the Mayor of Montgomery, Stephen Reed, here before too long, after the 1 o'clock hour break, at the top of the hour break. You know, I forgot to say to the judge, like, there are drag queens more convincing as women than Liz Cheney is as a champion of the Constitution.
You ain't kidding there, brother.
Like, goodness gracious. And plus, all the time, it looks like she's cosplaying Miss Piggy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't understand this appeal. I think it's a shrinking appeal, though.
I don't know if it really
it's
has.
very niche market, right?
I don't know if it have much traction.
Well,
in the
they're
beginning.
claiming they're trying to get the Nikki Haley voter.
They can have. I swear to God, they can have. Because most people that really believe in Nikki Haley, they're about as dumb as a Democrat. I swear to God. Look at that lady. She's transparent. I'll do anything you tell me to do. Just give me the money.
Yeah, but it just looked like he said rude things about her, like bird brain.
Okay.
I mean, how many votes are we talking about here? I mean, that's got to be a sliver of the...
It does, but I think we've talked about it before, how many people, including Fox News, that really try to push the Nikki Haley in there. And I'm like, let her go. Let her go. Tell her to follow the light. Just let her go.
No, we're going to push Nikki Haley and you're going to like it.
I just can't stand it.
I mean, to be fair, she was kind of like our version of Kamala Harris.
She was for a few minutes.
I mean, she was next up in case of emergency, break glass.
Well, and I mentioned this last week, but Vivek Ramaswamy was put on the spot by some guy. Thought it's like, what, you keep bringing up God, but which God are you talking about? And it's like, it seems like you don't want to talk about it. We're just pulling it out of you. And it's like, Vivek's like, I've done thousands of events. I've actually sat down in churches with pastors in Iowa talking about my Hindu faith. And he goes, you know how easy it would have been for me to declare myself a Christian and change my name to Vic Rama?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't. I'm being honest with you. And I think there's so many folks who signal stuff, and I'm like, you don't know what they believe.
Well, I mean, Kamala, when she booed or called out the Christians who said, you know, God is king or Jesus is king or whatever.
Jesus is Lord. Yeah.
Jesus is Lord. Talk about being tone deaf.
Yeah, you're at the wrong rally.
Woof. Come on now.
Well, if they're pro-life activists, they probably are at their own rally.
Yeah, but
after saying that, though, to tell them to get out of there.
Going back to voting blocks and turning people off. I mean,
yeah. Oh no, and it's been all over conservative airwaves and media and Twitter and whatnot. See, look at how they reacted.
Yep. Vance had a phenomenal response. I read his.
What did he say?
Someone asked him a similar question, and he had no problem saying "Lord is King." And after that, he kind of went into Harris's answer and how it was inappropriate and how out of touch he was. It was pretty good punch.
Pretty good.
All right then.
Yeah.
All right.
He's
then.
growing on me, man.
I like JD Vance. I haven't watched it yet. Apparently, he just sat down with Theo Vaughn. That just came out this morning. I love Theo.
I love Theo Vaughn. He did one the other night with he talked to anybody too, like Rogan, but he did one with a psychologist, and man, that psychologist broke into Theo's brain, and several times you saw Theo kind of probably let out, and he does let out a lot, but he let out a little too much, and he was trying to reel it back in.
Was that the
podcast
Jordan
like
Peterson?
that? I love. I cannot think of the guy's name. He reminded me.
No, I don't think it would be Jordan Peterson.
No, it
Eddie
wasn't Peterson. It was. He reminded me of Bob Dylan, but of course that wasn't him. But I can't think of the guy's name. Yeah, but he was. I got deeper into that show than I should have.
And last night the philosophical thing I was watching with my grandfather that I mentioned the judge was Jordan Peterson finally sat down with Richard Dawkins.
Really?
And had the kind of known internet skeptic atheist who has, I think, a PhD in theology. So he really knows the religious text, despite his lack of belief. Alex O'Connor sort of moderated this thing. And it's a little dense, a little crunchy, but I thought it was kind of a remarkable breakthrough at the end, which I only have a minute left in this hour. Man, I wonder if I could do that fast in the sense of, for instance, it's called the Baldwin effect. Look at chimpanzees, and some chimps walk on their two hind legs.
Yes.
And the theory is that was started to be selected for sexual selection. The females, the person could stand, or the chimp that could stand on two legs would be selected. And so this is a social meme that over time becomes inherent in the genetics. And so little parts of the world are microcosms of the larger world. And this is all Darwinian evolution according to Dawkins. Peterson's like, well, then couldn't something like Christianity be a microcosm of the larger world? Couldn't it be that these things that led to science, that led to the Western civilization as we know it, that they are actually gripping onto the truth of the world? And it became this like weird, it's like, well, that's fascinating. Maybe religions did develop in a way that creates a effect that it's almost you can't differentiate it from genetic or meme social effects. So fascinating, but I'm out of time. The mayor should be here any moment.
Hell of a tease.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Weicker. An official with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps charged in a plot to kill an Iranian-American author on U.S. soil. Ruhollah Bazhandi charged in an updated indictment filed today against those trying to kill Masih Alinejad. The Iranian opposition activist and journalist has been living in exile in New York City. Donald Trump today highlighting his economic policies in his outreach to Latino voters. Mr. Trump holding a roundtable with Latino men near Miami, saying the support among that community has been growing steadily since he first won in 2016. A teenager has been arrested in Washington state in connection with the deaths of 5 people, allegedly members of his own family. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-885-3333. That's 800-885-3333. 800-885-3333.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Hi, everybody. Still no raindrops in our future for the foreseeable future, really. Meanwhile, we have a warming trend underway. More sunshine today, comfortably low humidity with a high around 83. Clear skies, but not quite as cool at night. Tonight slowed down to about 54. We'll be in the middle 80s tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, probably Saturday too. Abundant sunshine. 50s at night with clear skies. Even Sunday looks nice with highs in the low 80s and more sun. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Get a Kubota RTV with a $2,000 instant rebate or 0% APR. Up to 48 months with approved credit. Get a Kubota now through December 31st, 2024. See Capital Tractor Montgomery and Brundage or KubotaUSA.com for details.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Former Montgomery County District Attorney Darrell Bailey is joining Faulkner University as its new Director of Admissions and External Affairs at the Jones School of Law. Bailey received his law degree from Faulkner in 1996 and became the county district attorney in 2014. Darrell Bailey announced his retirement last week. Both the defense and the prosecution have rested in the capital murder trial of the man charged with killing Lowndes County Sheriff Big John Williams. Defendant William Chase Johnson took the stand in his own defense Monday morning. The trial resumes Wednesday with both sides presenting closing arguments. Alabama Governor Kay Ivey has called a special meeting of the State Board of Veterans Affairs today to ask for the immediate removal of State Commissioner of Veterans Affairs Kent Davis. Ivey first called on Davis to step down in early September, which Davis had agreed to do at the end of this year. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Yes? Howdy, ma'am. I'm Bill, the electrician.
Oh, hello, Bill. Say, I like your houndstooth hat. Bama fan?
Well, sorta.
Oh, you're also wearing a War Eagle sweatshirt and a Troy jacket.
Yeah, well, I grabbed a hot wire last week. Kinda scrambled my brain.
Electricity is nothing to trifle with. That's why you only want electricians who are safety conscious and code compliant, like the experts at Crosby Electric.
Okay, ma'am, you take this 2x4, and if you notice I ain't saying much, give me a good knock on the head.
What?
All Crosby Electric team members are trained to make safety our #1 priority to avoid dangerous situations.
All ready to go, ma'am. Just have to connect this wire and... Oh,
Bill, are you okay?
Oh, yeah. Good as new.
Yeah, sure. Who's your favorite team?
Pistachio?
Don't take chances with electricity. Call the experts at Crosby Electric or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Man, I'm in a mood today. Eddie knows.
Yep. I'm glad one of us is a good mood.
Eric's learning.
Huh?
I said I'm learning.
We're a moody bunch.
Real quick.
Now, okay, this clip is, I've had it since yesterday. I think I sent it to you with a WTF caption.
Yes.
Okay. Like, what the F is this? This is FEMA. FEMA themselves put this out.
Yep.
Talking about, or wait, no, this actually might be the, who is this? CBP?
Who's CBP?
Customs Border Patrol.
Oh,
So
goodness.
Customs Border Patrol put this out.
I thought it was FEMA.
And it's them talking about working with FEMA. And they say, along with our partners at FEMA, we will continue with disaster recovery as a result of Hurricane Milton. The safety of the American people is our top priority, which is fine. You want to hear that. But we got to play this first.
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing. So you can hear, like, the saws in the background. I'm going to mute it now.
You got a bucket brigade going on from removing a tree.
You've got, what, that's like 20
Yeah,
cops
it's a
and
bucket brigade.
other officers.
That's exactly what that is.
They're all in line, and they're just passing along
Passing
a log. How much do you think that log weighs?
I'm going to go on a crazy day, 7 pounds.
I'm embarrassed for these people.
Right. The first guy
I
should have
was
took
saying
the log
heaviest,
and walked to the curb.
if it's waterlogged, heaviest maybe 50 pounds.
Nah, heavy.
But even that, I'm saying that number because you should be able to take the 50 pounds and carry it yourself. It's not that hard.
Right.
If I can do it, come on, man.
Oh, it's government at work right there.
But they're just sitting here passing this log, and it does appear light because of how easily they're just like tossing it to one another.
It's dead wood.
Like, what the heck is that? Y'all thought this was a good idea to put out on the internet? Look
When
at
really-
us really serving the public.
They could have all of them grabbed the log, and 2 minutes later, that tree is out at the curb, and that's how that would work.
Your tax dollars at work.
Where's Cool Hand Luke when you need him? Getting stuff done quick.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Digging a hole somewhere.
So our guest should be here.
I think I heard out in the parking lot. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I saw that and was like, that's just one of the
But they're all
most ridiculous
This is what
things.
kills me. They're all men standing there.
Right.
And I know 99.9, if not 100% of them know what they're doing is a waste of time.
Right.
So at what point do we as all men, start standing up and going, hey, get out of the way. Just grab the log and take it to the curb and drop it off.
Yes. It's not that heavy.
Put the mamby-pambies to the curb. Do what you got to do.
I'm just amazed that they don't have any sawdust on them. That's kind of cool to me.
Well,
As
something
many-
tells me that was all pretty fresh uniforms there, too.
Yeah, because this is like, that's not a big log.
I've never seen tree guys look that clean. to be very honest.
It's that's a bad photo op.
Okay. I'll agree with that.
McDonald Fry Station, good photo op. Or the one where Trump pops his head out of the drive-thru window and goes, "Hey everybody, I'm having fun," and I'm like, "Happy birthday, Kamala!"
That was hysterical.
I'm like, what is this world we're living in? Okay, now you scoot
Now
over. I
it's time.
think it's about to happen
Yeah.
here. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Or no?
Let me go see.
Okay. This part of the program, speaking of men, brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, well, they're ready to help you fellas out, especially if you've been feeling run down, tired all the live long day, like you're feeling like you're walking through your life in a fog. Loss of muscle mass, unwanted weight gain. You're just seeing a lot of issues generally happening to you, including a decrease in your sex drive. None of this is fun. And all these symptoms together could signal that you have low testosterone. So why not get by Montgomery Men's Health? And the providers there will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup, plus a consultation for only $99. And Montgomery Men's Health also has low T treatments if that is your issue that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido. You know what that means, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Noise.
So call them today. You can actually book the same day that you call.
That's right, Johnny.
That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to montgomerymenshealth.com to book your appointment today. And be sure to tell them that Joey fella on the radio sent you. So we're still awaiting.
Still waiting, yeah.
I was double checking. Did the mayor, did I get the right day with the scheduler? I was like, yeah, it should be today, Tuesday, 1 to 2. And we're, let me turn that mic on. How you doing?
Doing well.
Yeah, that mic's a little.
New real estate.
Yeah, it's a little, we can do a thing where we actually add another camera.
Really?
Yeah, so we now have Byron all up close and washed out.
Hey, Byron, how you doing there, buddy?
That
Man, we
undershot.
gotta get that guy a tan.
We got the cool guy shot right
Good
there.
luck with that.
That is like the cool guy club angle if you're YMH fans.
It really
is. It's bad lighting under.
Yeah.
I apologize.
I did good. Point my mom and dad.
So, Audible, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll keep going with the show. You can move back to the
I do got a question for you guys, and I'm glad both y'all are here because
yeah,
Byron especially. All right, will Joe come out after the election, assuming that Hunter is pardoned, and spill the beans on what really happened, how the coup went?
I think that would be a huge interview. Whoever gets it.
No.
Do you think he's more party based and he will live and die by the party?
He's got people below him, his son you referenced, and some other folks.
That'll do it for him?
There will be collateral damage if he does something like that.
My thought is, again, it had to be after Hunter is pardoned, because I think that's the key they're going to play with.
You don't think he could be charged with anything else?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. Good point. Very good point.
And he doesn't even really have to do it. With some of these
Joe
guys.
could do it. I mean, even though he said he's not, we all know. To me, it's a father-son. What was that? He's the father-son relationship. He's trying to be the good father.
Like OJ.
I don't know what Biden's going to do.
I
don't know how long Joe lasts.
That too, but I think, and that might be another thought, he might not last long enough to spill the beans. But I think he is, just looking at him, he seems to be an angry dude.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
With some things he'd like to get off his chest.
The one that I would be more curious about might be Jill, if she does a tour afterwards, or drops a book, or
she's to me more culpable than he is, because honestly, if you look at it, she was supposed to have been in her right mind. We all assumed Jill was somewhat taking care of Joe, and then it, to me, become very obvious she was just taking advantage of Joe. So if her were to write a book, I don't know how. Unless she suddenly turned over a new leaf and I hate the world.
Yeah, I'm not getting into their marriage, but
Yeah.
I would buy the book.
272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. The Wall Street Journal did a weekend interview with Trump.
Oh, really?
And it's, again, I think Trump is the one having fun right now.
This is pre-McDonald's then?
Yes.
Okay.
What does the Wall Street Journal know? Donald Trump sneered on Tuesday at the Economic Club of Chicago. They've been wrong about everything. 2 days later, the former president is at the Journal's New York offices for a meeting with its editorial board.
Perhaps he's giving some advice.
Listen, man, I mean, winning's fun, right?
Yeah, that's so good.
When you're running up the score, you have a little bit better time in the fourth quarter.
True.
Apparently he says, and I'm reading this is from the Wall Street Journal, he says, well, I've had some great support, have great respect for the board, for everybody having to do with the Wall Street Journal. Read it all the time. Don't get treated well by the editorial board. But I will say, on the weaponization of justice, I've been treated very well, and I appreciate it. So there's all sorts of aspects to this interview.
Yeah.
But the really juicy part, they talk about trade, they talk about tariffs, they talk about deportation, which we have a Peter St. Onge clip on how does that happen, how much could it cost.
Okay.
And, actually we need some legal immigration, which actually they agree on, these sorts of things.
Agree on that, yeah.
So the part that really jumps out in the headlines, though, is about foreign policy. The head of the editorial board for the Wall Street Journal asked Trump how he would persuade President Xi Jinping to stand down from a blockade of Taiwan. Trump responds, "Oh, very easy.
I had a very strong relationship with him. He was actually really good. I don't want to say friend. I don't want to act foolish. He was my friend, but I got along with him great. He stayed at Mar-a-Lago with me, so we got to know each other great. He's a very fierce person.
The visit coincided with the April 2017 U.S. bombing of Syria, where China reportedly had a military presence. Mr. Trump says he decided to tell Mr. Xi about the bombing over dessert.
I said, President, we've just shot 58 missiles into Syria to an airport that's housing a lot of new planes. Your people are not at risk, but they're on their way right now. He hears it and he goes, repeat, repeat. I said, you speak English, don't you?
Until then, the two men had communicated only with the aid of an interpreter.
He knows.
I repeated it, and he understood. He sat like this. He's got a good poker face. First, it looked like he was furious, right? I repeated it again. Okay. Then we got back to, he was pretty cool, but he's a fierce guy.
Dude, I mean, that's one of the most boss moves I've heard in a long time. This guy invites the leader of our opposition over to his house, tells him, hey, I took out a hit on one of your dudes, and you're just going to have to sit there and take it.
No, that spend the night. What's it like spending the night
at Mar-a-Lago? I'm sure it's not.
I mean, after 9:30, Mr. Trump comes by and goes, all right, well, I'll catch you in the morning.
So Trump returns to the editorial board's question about a blockade. He goes,
I would say if you go into Taiwan, I'm sorry to do this, I'm going to tax you. Meaning 150%, 200%.
He might even shut down trade altogether. Would you use military force against a blockade on Taiwan?
I wouldn't have to.
Wouldn't have to.
Because he respects me and he knows I'm effing crazy.
Wouldn't have to.
That's a literal quote. I wouldn't have to because he respects me and he knows I'm effing crazy.
Well, this is the same guy, Donald, what was last year when he said, like Byron said, hey, I took a hit out on your guy over dessert. By the way, your guys are safe, but all around him is raining right now.
Two words jump out in that whole interview to me: fierce and crazy. So the way that he wanted to be viewed, Trump made sure he used that word. And the way that Trump wanted to be viewed internationally, he also used that word. I think that's
interesting.
Very, very smart by the president.
And then on Vladimir Putin, he said it's the same with Vladimir Putin. He said,
I said, Vladimir, if you go after Ukraine, I'm going to hit you so hard, you're not even going to believe it. I'm going to hit you right in the middle of frickin' Moscow. I said, we're friends. I don't want to do it, but I have no choice. He goes, no way. I said, way. I said, you're going to be hit so hard, and I'm going to take those effing domes right off your head.
Just Babylon.
Because, you know, he lives under those domes.
Is this Babylon?
Maybe.
Way.
No, I mean the Babylon Bee.
I know. This is the Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street Journal.
Good Lord.
He goes, no way. I said, way.
It's like there's two surfers hanging out in the surf.
Oh, it's like Wayne's World.
Yeah. No way. Bra. Yeah. Way.
I have a large collection of name tags and hairnets.
I know someone who is definitely not a low T individual.
Wow.
He's got to be feeling pretty good, man.
So, I that part just jumped out at me. Like that's, I mean, it's unconventional, obviously, from the usual diplomatic approach people take. But how's that been working out for us in the not just the last 3-4 years, but the last few decades? How's it been working out for us? Not well.
Not well from my point of view. Certainly not.
No, it hasn't been working out well at all. So,
all right, let me ask you this. If Trump wins the presidency, China obviously maintains its status in the world. Russia wins the war in the Ukraine, as we assume that they will, and we have these other superpowers to balance us out. You think the deep state gets on board with Trump a little bit more at that point?
Maybe.
I mean,
maybe
because of the balance and dichotomy and everything.
Maybe. I mean, if you give them if there's certain interests that align, yeah. But I think the deep state really hates his approach in general.
Oh yeah,
they hate what I just read.
They hate that he uses "I'm crazy," but
Yes.
they understand that by him saying that,
He's believable.
He's
right.
Right. And going back to Matt, let's look at North Korea. One of the things we definitely didn't want to do was provoke them because why? Their leader was crazy enough to do anything.
Yep.
There's a strength and a value in that.
Omar Bakar al-Baghdadi died like a dog.
Yeah, just a different style.
Versus Kamala and her negotiating.
There was a scheduling snafu. That's all right. Not on this. Mayor's not going to be here today, folks. Wires got crossed behind the scenes.
Things happen.
That's all right. Stuff happens.
That happens.
272-9228. Hopefully we'll have him soon. I mean, I'd be happy to talk to the mayor about this upcoming election the closer we get, because he is a Kamala surrogate. And, we'll see. Somebody's texting me BS. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Y'all are so skeptical.
I'm guessing a Wednesday or a Friday.
Yeah. Somebody put it down wrong on the calendar. It's just how it works out sometimes, folks.
I had it right on my calendar.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh.
As soon as I walked in, you told me. I was like, yeah, it's what's on my calendar.
But I am wondering, I'll just give the game away, whether it's the mayor or it's the state or it's the county, anybody with taxpayer dollars, as they like to divvy out. How much money are we going to continue to give the water park if it is losing money?
What do you mean? This is
like, it'd be one thing is like, let's keep the investment going if it's breaking even or if it's got, long-term prospects, if it's making money even.
Sure. Well,
but if it's losing money.
Well, how do we tell if it's
good
losing
money after bad? I believe that's how people
How do we
say
find
it.
out? Do they do a P&R or P&L statement?
Well, I'm
on it?
sure they have like a budget.
Don't they have to release that, or do they not have to release that? I'd be curious. As much as they brag about it, I would think it's somewhat successful. See lots of videos.
It's a very nice facility.
Yeah, I've been down it a couple times, but I'd like to see. That'd be interesting.
I wonder, like, if you're sitting there at the state and you're doing the budgets next year and you're going to put more money into this thing, like, what does success look like? Do you have any performance metric?
Apparently breaking even would be success.
If you're the city who's ponied up some money for this. Wait, are we going to leave it all to the Porch Creek?
You say,
Probably.
You say leave it to them.
Well, they put in the biggest amount of money initially.
I was going to say they may have to bail out.
Right.
For $1.
So they're sort of treating it like their investment from the get-go. They're the biggest provider. There was a big land swap, which was a lot of money in terms of value. But
I can't see how this didn't succeed. I mean, it was set up from the beginning to make a ton of revenue.
I smell sarcasm.
A little bit.
Yes, and it's well appreciated.
It's just stuff like that. Like, we saw it from the beginning. Like we said, we wouldn't have voted for it, right? But we hope it works. But we wouldn't have voted for it because, you've been down there.
Yeah.
It's a nice facility.
It's a nice facility.
How many months out of the year is it used?
It could be used more. I think the water park is obviously used during warm weather, but I think the other times it's used for venues for concerts and things like that, which is great.
We can go have a beer.
But again, I mean, my whole thing is if this is a dumpster fire and we just keep throwing money at it, then at some point, and I've been part of dumpster fires before, you've just got to walk away.
If this multi-million, billion-dollar project is just a liability, that's a problem. I don't care how nice it is. Especially when you're using, if it was your own money, like private funds, cool, man. You can spend your money how you want.
We talked to some people and they said, I think they're on the board, but they said if they came to them for a loan, this would not have met criteria to be a successful visit.
And I think there's plans to expand it with a zip line and more
Well, that's
walking
good.
paths. The zip line's cool, but I mean, it's not like we have walking paths in Montgomery, right?
Oh, I just love the liability factor on the zip line, man. As
That-
if now
that
people
thing is-
aren't dying in the city.
That worries me, but I assume they've got, same with the water park part.
No,
I've
if the
assumed they've
state
got the
keeps
insurance to cover
ponying
it.
up money, once Kay Ivey gets done with her fight for the head of Veterans Affairs here in the
what's up
state,
with that?
maybe I want, if they keep giving more money, when they open the zip line, I want Kay Ivey with that baby on board, but with Missy in there going, oh, sure, let's go, Missy. I want to see that. Let's at least have fun with it.
We could definitely raise the money, whatever gap they have, the Delta. I think that event would be a great GoFundMe.
Pretty good one.
Actually, I think Kay would be good on a zip line. When she's spry.
Just kind of fall off and hold on.
Yeah. Man, you can get like hooks and grips.
Oh, yeah. Strapped in, you're good to go.
Right. It's just stuff like that. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it is also like, this is how the insider crony government game
You
works.
said it earlier in microcosm, man. I mean,
Yes.
this is a microcosm of the greater
Yes.
administration and everything else. So,
absolutely.
Rock on.
272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Daddy-O.
Hey, Daddy-O, what's up?
What's going on, you gentlemen?
Not much. How you doing, brother?
Planning a trip to the water park.
Ain't like let me get y'all speaker. I won't be echoing. I just listen, y'all. That water park is a joke. It is a sexual intercourse cluster.
What? Oh, okay.
Oh,
I see
yeah,
what
I
you
should
mean.
say,
Yeah, it's FUBAR.
FUBAR.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's a money gathering. It's the wrong place to have it. I mean, I could go on and on telling things that everybody already knows. That was an inside job for whatever reason down the highway. Is a motive why they built that thing, because it wasn't to make any money, in my opinion.
Who got the bid to build it? I don't know.
That's what I'm.
I don't want to
I'm
misstate
saying.
it.
Yeah.
We'll do some research.
I think
on
it's
that.
Jessica.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because they build a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which, I'm not knocking them. I know what they're doing.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, hell, if they got the bid and they wanted to build, I ain't mad at them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Somebody was going to get it.
Somebody ponying up all that money is coming from more side, the different angles and sideways than you can think about. If I had to guess, because I ain't that smart to know everything, but I ain't stupid either. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And one more thing I wanted to say to change the subject for 1 second is that if all this war starts out, with the where China with Russia and all this stuff going in the Middle East and Chinese over there messing with Taiwan and what have you, on and on, our military sign up is down from what I read now. It's what I read than what it used to be.
Yes.
And I mean, so we're if that all starts, we'll have to start the draft back up. What do y'all think about that statement?
Well, funny you bring that up. It's no longer selective service where you have to go and register. I forget how long ago it was, a couple weeks ago. That kind of just went into automatic effect. When you go 18, don't have to go to the post office no more. They already go ahead and do that for you.
Nice. That's
I
very
forgot to
generous
ask-
of them.
I forgot to ask Katie about
Probably
that.
get you on the voter rolls.
Well,
at the
you
same
kept
time.
going in on the drone thing. We didn't have time to get to the selective service.
You know, I feel bad about that already.
No, it's fine.
Don't guilt me. Just
So basically, they can call you up now without even you signing up. You're just going to be. And what do y'all think that's going to happen? Because if you read what I read online, that our military, the young people are not signing up.
Well, not only that, it's kind of funny with that whole drafting thing. They don't believe in the difference between the sexes anymore, male and female, except when it comes to that. Females were not automatically signed up, just the males. So
that's kind of.
I mean, which
Go ahead, Ed.
in the real world we live in, that's how it's supposed to be. However, with the gender bender world that we're in today,
pick a lane, right?
Exactly. Not
Well,
just a
that's
convenient
my-
one.
That's my subject for today. Daddy-O, he gone.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate
man.
it, man. 272-9228. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's us?
Hey, it's Kyle. How are you fellas today?
Good. How you doing,
Kyle. How
Kyle?
you doing, bud?
Good. Hey, I got a couple of things. The water park, like the guy before me said, that's a joke. Okay, I mean, come on. They said that they were going to use African American contractors, and they did, and a lot of those contractors haven't been paid yet.
Yeah, they sued them and for discrimination.
Yeah. and one of the funniest things about it, nobody brought it up, they still hadn't paid for the renovation on Crampton Bowl and that center they got
Really?
down there. That's an $18 million expenditure.
Oh, wow.
And to pay for that thing, you're going to have to. It's only 32,000 seats, and they'd have to fill that thing up constantly to pay them $18 million is what's left on it. So I mean, it's just piss poor city management and absolutely nuts.
Well, and sometimes these big projects can work. I don't always go lately because I'm just a homebody, but there's many a time I'm down at Riverwalk Stadium and down at the amphitheater. I think the Renaissance has been a huge boon.
Oh, yeah.
I think, you're getting more investment down there, but some of these projects, they have to make sense economically. I get so frustrated with, I scratch your back, you scratch my back, and we're all just milking the taxpayer at the same time.
Yep.
Right, exactly. And the big thing about it is, I understand that I've never been down there, but the renovation to Crampton Bowl and the new center that they put down there and everything, I understand that's a great facility.
Yes.
But they did an analysis on that thing, and to make it even feasible, they had to have something down there every single day. I mean, they had to have something that was making money. It seems, if I remember correctly, they said it was there was 32,000 seats, and they said the whole project renovation was $32 million, like $1 million a seat. And, if they had high school games and the Camellia Bowl and the Turkey Day class, they'd have to fill that thing up time and time and time and time and time again to even break even on it. So, the taxpayers are just on the hook for that stuff. And that's nuts.
And it's not just Montgomery. There's this op-ed that really had legs, very popular on 1819news.com, talking about Hoover and how they don't want to reduce, say, things like sales taxes or grocery taxes, but they got all the money in the world for new development projects.
I can talk about Mobile. There's a soccer field down there that's in a floodplain. I mean, what sort of rocket scientist do you have to be to get that one right?
Hey, Byron.
Sir?
Oh, my gosh.
No, but my favorite here locally is like, we need more walking paths. It's like Lagoon Park, Blunt Cultural Park.
Oh, we do have some really good ones.
No,
we
the
don't
one right
highlight
there
them.
on Vaughn Road, Perry Hill.
Yeah.
That's a great little park right there.
We
There
don't
are
highlight
plenty of parks.
Did I say soccer or soccer?
No, you.
All right, fellas.
My bad.
Y'all have a good one.
See you, bud.
2729228. This part of the program, in fact, this entire hour, brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you. Whether you're looking to buy a home, could be you just moved into the area, you must buy, you're looking to buy, go with a very trusted, great local mortgage company like Alabama Home Mortgage. They're the gold standard, folks.
Oh, yeah.
In so many regards. But all the rage these days are refinance deals. And there are a lot of folks I know for a fact who have been sitting on the fence, kind of waiting, wondering, is this the right time to pull the trigger? And you might still be in that position, like you're not sure, you're on the bubble. At least call up Alabama Home Mortgage and have a conversation.
Sure.
So you know when it is time to pull the trigger on that refinance deal. Rates have come down some. Maybe it's the right time, maybe it's not. But talk to the pros there at Alabama Home Mortgage. And the beautiful thing is veterans, but also normal refis, their turnaround time is what, like 2 weeks?
On
like
a really
16
good one,
days?
Yeah, 16 days is what they can be doing. And I'm telling you, that's record time.
It's amazing.
Yes.
So check them out today. You can always call Kim and Madeline at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, the best quality building materials in the River region for decades. From common builds to special orders and local delivery. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather. Hi, everybody. Still no raindrops in our future for the foreseeable future, really. Meanwhile, we have a warming trend underway. More sunshine today, comfortably low humidity with a high around 83. Clear skies, but not quite as cool at night. Tonight slowed down to about 54. We'll be in the middle 80s tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, probably Saturday too. Abundant sunshine. 50s at night with clear skies. Even Sunday looks nice with highs in the low 80s and more sun. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon.
Hey, how come you quit playing your jam?
What jam?
I don't hear it no more. When you actually released, you kind of took out of the mix. I don't really seem to hear it.
I start every hour with it, Eddie.
I don't. Maybe I just.
Eddie?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out as a full song. Where's the Liberty?
Now, where can we find that one, Joey?
iTunes? Spotify?
Okay.
I tend to use the YouTube Music.
YouTube Music.
That's up there. Yeah. Just Joey Clark, Where's the Liberty?
There you go.
And it's kind of about the futility of politics.
Oh, that's pretty good. I just think we should push it more. That's all.
Okay, we can.
That's all I'm saying.
We sure we can. Like, I didn't have a music video. I should have put that out on Twitter and promoted it and stuff.
That'd be a good one if you were dancing.
Come on.
I was thinking it's a very lyric-based song, so I'm just going to do a lyric video. But
Let's do a video.
Like a video.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Some dancing.
Dancing.
Let's recreate the sabotage.
See, this is the beginning of the video. What do we need in the video?
Dancing.
And then
What we need is some paying gigs, Joey. That's what we need.
Yeah.
You need to practice, Randy. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're...
Oh, great reference, man. We ain't got no band.
No, like sometimes I listen to y'all out there and I just hear...
You don't tell your pappy how to cut the electric. He ain't one at a time in here. We're mass communicating. Oh, yeah. That's a powerful new force. Shake a leg, Junior. Thank God your mammy died giving birth. The senior should have died of shame. Well, hi, how you doing?
Love that. Let's go to Joey from Pratt, Vegas. Hey, Joey.
How y'all doing today?
Pretty good. How you doing, bud?
Oh, if I was any better, I'd be a twin, but I'm actually a little bit irritated right now.
Oh, what's on your mind?
I want to know why we're even discussing this water park.
While we're discussing it, I guess it's because
Yeah, why are we discussing the water park?
I'm guessing.
I clearly remember calling into this exact program
Mhm.
2.5, 3 months ago, and you had one of your little city council members on, and he was bragging about it at that time because they had the Olympic trial thing coming.
Yep.
And I called in talking about how much of a waste it was, and I got the whole runaround about, oh, don't worry about it. It's just got built. It needs time to build up. I just got a whole runaround from this program 3 months ago about this water park, so I really don't want to hear no complaining.
Well, you
about
got it from us or from the city council?
Listened a little bit further back, you would have heard that we were against the water park from the get-go. In fact, there was many spirited conversations with me and other listeners about that.
Yeah, because that thing is a total waste. That was a total. Look, here's something that I don't think a lot of people actually understand about that water park. There was so much money that got funneled during that. Who owned that property originally? Y'all remember back when there was projects right there?
Yep.
Okay? All them projects were Section 8 and HUD projects.
Mhm.
You know them big, brand new, pretty, bright colored ones over by the jail?
Yeah.
That's basically the same housing project. They built that new one in order to move all them people over there. So the state, the city, and the federal government already forced up all that money to move that people.
And the Salvation Army, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they turn around and they tell you they need money to buy the property. Well, how'd you move them if you didn't already own the property? So here's what happened. Maxwell wanted that property. Okay, Maxwell was going to expand their base over. All right? Then they got told they couldn't tear down that one little house that's still sitting there because it was under historical protection. All right? They knew that before Maxwell tried to move everybody out. So who built the projects, the new ones? Who paid to tear down the old ones? Who turned around and bought the property to build the state water park? There's so much money funneling hands,
Yes.
okay? It is stupid.
This is why we were against it from the beginning.
Yeah.
But I remember, God, I can't remember that councilman. There was a city councilman you had on your show that day, and he die-heartedly defended that thing.
I think they will even today. Doesn't mean I agree with them, but
We'll
I
see.
think
It
I think
depends
several of
on
them will
it
defend
depends on how much it's losing money.
How much
Oh,
is
it's
losing?
How much? I drive past there I just passed it not 4 minutes ago.
Right.
Literally 4 minutes. Beautiful day today. There's 4 cars in the parking lot. How many of them are employees?
4.
Okay?
Oh yeah, no, and my point is every year it loses a lot amount of money, and then all these folks go hat in hand to the state, to the city, and the county. It's time to continue to raise hell about it. Shouldn't have been done in the first place, but when you got the hard numbers, you need to put it in people's face, going, how much more?
Yeah, I mean, I want to know who's getting all this money, because it's not the park. The park ain't getting it. The park's built. So who's getting this money?
And who's getting it after that?
I can't remember the fancy name, but it's a cooperative district, so it's like co-run. It's some board, and then the board is backed by the state, the county. It's one of these economic development zones they've created. My suspicion about this is all the money that was other than you're talking about like infrastructure and land, which is a big part of the price tag that was given over, like you just covered, I think the actual like cash operating, I don't think they have any money.
I don't think they do either.
No, they don't have any money. I mean, so if you ain't got money, if me or you open the business today, let's say we go right over here off 31, me, you, and we'll throw Red Top in it. We buy the old Prattville putt course.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we do it independently, and we're going to rebuild that putt course, and we'll even put in the paintball thing they tried to bring in afterwards.
Nice.
And we don't make money after 1 year. Who the hell is going to give us money to go another one?
Nobody.
Right. You're exactly right. This is why these,
Been there, done
like, I'm sorry you had that experience that one day. I've written op-eds about this for 1819, including them getting sued for discrimination by the very minority contractor they hired, to how this is a classic, it's a microcosm of how government and cronyism works. And you're just seeing, we're talking about it because the rumor is they ain't doing well. It's not just like speculation, it's hard numbers.
It ain't no rumor.
Those 4 cars, those weren't employees, they were volunteers.
Which we kind of agree, it's not so much a rumor. However, I want to see something on paper, and I think the numbers are so bad, you're not going to see that.
And this is the point I iterated the very first time I called. They sold the public on the park part. Okay? That is not a water park. That is a whitewater rapid course. That's all it is right now.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to do that, it does not benefit you. But they sold the public on the park. When you envision in your brain a water park, I see slides, I see a
wave
lazy
pool.
river.
Yeah.
Right. That's why people agreed to it. They flat out lied to us and deceived us. And they're stealing from us to make it look good. Don't know, man, who in Montgomery do you know that can whitewater raft?
Now I'm looking at Eddie over here. He could probably handle it.
2 people, but they don't. Yeah, we go to the river.
Man, we're pulling Eddie out, giving CPR.
I've been down it like 3 times.
No,
no trouble.
You are
I
getting
even got a video.
You are getting a little top heavy with Eddie. Like.
I've lost some weight since I went. I'm even better now.
With the rolls.
Well, Joey, I hear your frustration, man, and I really appreciate the call. I got to run. I got a bunch of other coming.
Appreciate it, Joey.
Appreciate it.
See you, man.
I like Joey.
What a mess. And again, it's not like just add this to the list of all sorts of stuff like this. You could talk about Mobile. I'm sure people are more Birmingham based that could talk about all the stuff going on there. Let's not, I mean, who knows when it comes to Huntsville and that Decatur and that whole northern part of the state. There's so much money sloshing around.
You can keep that stuff hidden very easily. But when there ain't much money, stuff comes out.
Yeah, I mean, talk about big federal dollars in the north part of the state. I mean, and I have a piece out today at 1819 News talking about effects of a Trump win. And I think the biggest, most obvious one is Space Command, I think, is brought back to Alabama. Senator Britt told us last Friday, including Terry Sewell, the entire congressional delegation worked to essentially prime the pump that if Trump got back in there, they could move it permanently to Alabama because based on every evaluation, Redstone Arsenal is the place to put it.
We won.
Right. So, but you got to think like that is a central nervous hub of, part of the nervous system of our federal government.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a whole other ball game compared to the southern part of our dear state.
We're going to have a lot more solar farms to fight in the coming years for sure.
Yeah.
Why can't we get nuke plants? Like modernized small reactor nuke plants.
Paranoid bureaucrats standing in the way. That's why. They'll tell you, yeah, you can build one. We'll start applying the permit. 50 years from now, perhaps the permit will be approved.
Call me Senate, but not as much money can be made.
272-9228. Let's go to Boomer T. Hey, Boomer T.
What's up, Boomer T?
All right, gentlemen. Boomer's going to speak real low and slow, okay?
All right, brother. Thank you, Boomer.
All right, Captain. The guy that just called, I'm going to tell you all about it. Okay, on Maxwell Boulevard down there on Bell Street, that's concealed Bell Street, one end, there was a Dollar General. On the other end, there was an old place called Dino's Tavern. I own that building. I own the Dino's Tavern. From the inside, from next to my building all the way up to the Dollar General, there was another someone else that owned all that property. I will not mention his name. So they come. I get a letter one day from the city of Montgomery saying that the property has been condemned. Well, there's nothing wrong with my building. Yes, the 3 buildings right there, all that stuff needs to be condemned. Remember, there was a Dollar General had been there maybe 2 years. So the city of Montgomery decides they're going to get rid of this property. Well, I own this piece of property right here. They trying to condemn this property. They tried to buy me off by moving me into the old wagon wheel. Well, I didn't move in the old wagon wheel. I ended up moving over there and bought a piece of property over there behind St. Mark's Hospital. All right, so I ended up selling that piece of property right there, okay? After I sold that property, the lady that owns the other part, the whole other part, they sold all that for $1 million to the city. The city turned right around and swapped properties from across the street from the government. The government owns the property across the street now where they leveled all that strip mall was, where Odino's and all that was. It's a big parking lot now. They did that so when you guessed and people can come out there when you go out there to visit Maxwell out there, you can park out there. They didn't have no place to park. They didn't have a road no more, okay? Now, as far as Riverside Heights was concerned, that right there was a done deal. I'm going to say some names in just a second. Now, that right there, they gave Salvation Army $5 million. The Salvation Army has yet to buy a building. They're still looking for property. It's been 4 years, okay?
Right. Yeah.
Now, here's the situation where all the homeless people are going now. That's why you have them all over the city, because they put a shelter out there on the Mobile Highway. I don't know if anybody's out there that doesn't know about Mobile Highway, and the homeless will tell you they don't want to go out there because you'll get robbed or murdered because it's a drug infestation and nasty on Mobile Highway. I remember when Mobile Highway used to be nice, but that's what happens there. Now, what happened downtown with all the other stuff, and now the Whitewater Park, that has a lot to do with the government. Now, I had another piece of property across the street over there that the city ended up buying that for me. And then next thing I know, the Whitewater Park's coming in. See, they screwed me by letting me not know when the water park was going to come in. All right, so they took the water park, and to start off at $52 million, the contractor, Foshi, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I don't give a damn shit. You know me. I'm telling it like it is. Here's involved, y'all. You want to know the truth? You got Todd Strange. You got Foshi. You got Jerry Kaiser. You had the late great Elton Dean, and now you got the head man right down there right now, Doug Singleton. He's involved in all that money. Let me tell you something, Captain. You don't go for a $52 million budget. They got a $20 million up front money up front, okay? Then they had to turn around and get more money, and next to more money. They screwed every contractor out there, okay? Everybody got screwed except for Foshi. He got a guaranteed $20 million up front. And then at the end of the day, it ended up costing $110 million. Do the math. The same thing with that Crepton Bowl thing up there in the complex up there. That was Todd Strange had to have that because that was a money-making deal, so that way Kaiser and Foshi could get the construction work. Look at everything that happened downtown Montgomery. Everything you see. I'm telling you, people, I was there live and in living color on Madison Avenue, Dexter Avenue, Commerce Street. I had spots everywhere. I got away from downtown because it got to be too much crook. I don't dance to nobody's dance music if I don't have to.
Right.
And that's why the mayor and them, they don't like me. But I'm telling you why I know for a fact. And I'm so sad to see that you people in Montgomery, you taxpayers, have got to fit the bill for the rest of this, And let me tell you something. An occupation tax is getting ready to come on to you, too. And watch to see what happens. You're getting ready to be taxed to death by Stephen Reed. And I'm sorry, Joe, as a man didn't come to your show, and I know stuff comes up, but you know what? That shows no respect, Stephen Reed. You knew you was coming to this man's show. You knew you was coming. You don't wait till 15, 20 minutes when you're supposed to be there, Kamala, and then call up and say, I'm not going to be there. Folks, you got what you got. I pray for it every day. I live in Titus, Alabama with me and Eddie, two pies. Let me tell you something. All we worried about up here is, man, little coyotes every now and then. Guys, man, I pray for you, and I pray at each one of y'all in Montgomery, man. But this Whitewater thing, You'll see the name's going to pop out. You will see. And I won 18-19. That dude's sitting right there, man. He wants to put. He's going to. He's been looking into this. Looking at this. Let me tell you something, man. You look down deep, and don't you be afraid. Don't you be afraid of anybody, Jerry Kaiser's goons, Todd Strange's goons, or anybody else's goons, Captain. Because let me tell you something. The truth hurts, and the truth's going to come out. And there's going to be so many people that's going to have egg on their face. And Dan Marth and Judge Mark Montiel, they're both going to sit there and go, just like Boomer did. We told you it was coming. Everyone was getting it and getting it railroaded hard. Guys, I appreciate your time, but, man, that's the truth. Dude, y'all have no idea how the Montgomery, how crooked that son of a gun is, and how much money goes out every single day. That Whitewater was those. Oh my God! Oh God! I got to get off. I got to get off the phone.
Later, man.
I've got.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. God bless you and God bless America.
See you, bro.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that sounds like somebody who was in the middle of all of it, getting stuff off his chest.
Mm-hmm. A little cathartic.
Yeah, I'm happy to
listen.
Write up the mayor's no show today as a scheduling error. I'm happy. I'm, like that. But we'll see where it goes. I find that the general trend of what he was just saying, 100%.
Want to talk about Hyundai money?
And by the way, Byron does not work for 1819.
No,
News.
no.
He's got you confused with Craig.
Byron doesn't work for anybody anymore.
You're right. But, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. How about this? Let's hit our top of the hour break.
All right.
Final hour of the program when we come back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. Very successful day for Donald Trump in Florida, highlighting his economic policies in his outreach to Latino voters. At a roundtable near Miami, he says support from the Latino community has been growing very steadily since he first won in 2016. Mr. Trump has once again toured the devastation of the massive storm damage in North Carolina. He tells residents when he is elected, they will never be forgotten. In New Mexico, the National Guard still searching for those who are missing from severe flooding around the city of Roswell. 300 people have been rescued. At least 2 deaths have been reported. King Charles ending his first visit to Australia by a reigning British monarch in some 13, almost 14 years. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-885-3333. That's 800-885-3333. 800-885-3333.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Hi, everybody. Still no raindrops in our future for the foreseeable future, really. Meanwhile, we have a warming trend underway. More sunshine today, comfortably low humidity with a high around 83. Clear skies, but not quite as cool at night. Tonight slowed down to about 54. We'll be in the middle 80s tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, probably Saturday too. Abundant sunshine. 50s at night with clear skies. Even Sunday looks nice with highs in the low 80s and more sun. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you for voting ASC Credit Union, the best credit union in the River Region 6 years in a row. As we celebrate our 70th anniversary, we are proud to be at the top of the list for the best credit union in the hearts of the communities we serve.
1819 News.
The Pelham City Council met this past Monday night and voted unanimously to not revoke the business licenses to 2 bars in that city. The vote was being held on the licenses due to illegal gambling that had gone on with customers at the Little Bits Tavern and Pub 261. The 2 restaurants had been offering bingo games with cash entry fees as well as cash prizes. The owners of those restaurants have now agreed to stop all the bingo games in order to remain operational. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
On November 15th, you can have dinner with Eric Metaxas right here in Alabama. Metaxas, the author of Bonhoeffer and Letter to the American Church, will keynote 1819 News' first annual Albert Patterson Gala on November 15th at the Barber Motorsports Event Center in Birmingham. To learn more and sponsor a table, visit 1819news.com/gala. Again, that's Eric Metaxas on November 15th. Go to 1819news.com/gala to learn more.
Both the defense and prosecution have rested their case in Macon County. William Johnson was being tried for the murder of Lowndes County Sheriff Big John Williams back in 2019. Johnson took the stand in his own defense, saying he did not know that the man who was approaching him at a gas station was the sheriff. Williams, along with other teenagers, had been approached at the scene due to loud music being played, but apparently the sheriff was not in uniform. Johnson says that the sheriff pinned him down to his truck and grabbed him by the throat, and that's when the shooting happened. The defense argued it was done in self-defense. The prosecution says that it was murder. Honda has issued a recall of 700,000 vehicles due to a potential fuel pump crack and leak that could then cause a fire. The recall involves the Honda Accord and Accord Hybrid, as well as the Honda Civic and Civic Hybrid. Honda owners will be receiving letters in the mail regarding this recall. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Here are the 5 steps you'll have to take to buy a home in this market. First, it's so important to get pre-qualified through a local lender because to get an offer accepted, you will have to have a written pre-approval letter submitted with your offer. Second, it's critical that you have identified the 3 most important must-haves with a house, including the location where you want to live. Third, always hire a professional buyer's agent that will represent your best interest and to be looking out for your interests, not the seller's interests, through the transaction, working on your behalf all the way to the closing. Fourth, hire the best home inspector you can find. Let him identify the issues with the home. Let your agent negotiate on your behalf for needed repairs. Fifth, close with a top-notch closing attorney's office that will examine the title, provide you with title insurance, and give you good title in the future. For a complete list of buyer agent services, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
Cybersecurity Awareness Month is still going strong, and LifeLock has a message about phishing. The scams cyber criminals use to trick victims into allowing access to their devices so they can steal your personal information. Being aware of potential phishing scams is one way to help protect your personal information. LifeLock alerts you to more uses of your personal information and fixes identity theft issues that arise. Start protecting your identity with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use my first name, Clay, as your promo code. Terms apply.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark, Eddie Bader, Byron Sheehy here in the studio. And we got some more calls rolling in.
Yeah,
Let's go to Crawdad. Hey, Crawdad.
Afternoon.
How you doing, Crawdaddy?
What got my attention, you guys, was when somebody said something about sex at the water park.
What?
That got your attention?
Yes, it did, because I was wondering, can you go fishing out there?
You could. You're not going to catch anything. It's
That's what you see, because if you go out for sex at the water park, you might catch something.
Oh, in that case, yeah.
Now,
in the water.
you may be thinking when this is talking about cronyism, getting bids, and it made me remember Ray Nagin in New Orleans after cleanup time to fix everything. All these contracts that Nagin or Ray, he had something to do with these contracts where people get jobs, all kind of things. That's cronyism. The thing that was happening out here with cronyism of making sure certain favorite friends get contracts to do a job, that cronyism, that got my attention. And when Boomer T called, I wanted to, that nails it. You see, I haven't heard from Boomer T in a while. It's good to hear him say what he has to say, because he knows what he's talking about out there. So that was good to hear from him. And this cronyism business is still, it works. I mean, look what they did in New Jersey when the good old ways of making the deal with your friends. This is nothing new. Cronyism is very good business, crooked business. Montgomery has a lot of it. Stephen Reed, he's in the seat of doing all kind of cronyism if he wants to. I'm not saying he is or isn't, but what Booker T was talking about, what Boomer T was talking about, very much the truth. So I want to say it was good to hear from him on today, and you guys doing a great job, and people listening will understand more about what goes on around here with giving a contract, and all of a sudden something gets rearranged so we can have a parking lot or something. In the meantime, I would like to wish Montgomery people a good day, and do try to visit Oak Park. We're trying to hang on to Oak Park and revitalize it. I believe that Troy State University conveyed the planetarium back to the city, and that part also needs to be revitalized to get people back to a park. So you talked about the Vaughn Road Park and other parks. That's great for getting people together outside again. And I don't know anything about a white water thing. I don't see that making any money for this city at all. Maybe we'll convert it into fishing and then let Eddie go out and tell me about how big of a bass he got out there, okay?
I'm down with that.
You've done fishing, you say, Eddie?
No, I said I'm down with that. I would love to turn that into a big creek. We could put some trout in it.
Absolutely. And then, you know, what was that movie about the big fish? You remember that story about the
my dad
big
was
fish?
in that movie. Got a lot of great memories about that movie.
That area right there, that is property of Lynn Clarity Bright.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that's how you make buddy deals, too, is you get things to do, contracts. And anyways, I'm full to finish today, But thank you for letting me chime in, and thank for having a good show.
Thank you, Crawdad.
Appreciate it, Crawdad.
See you, bud.
Let's go to Brian. Hey, Brian.
Damn.
Brian?
I echo the sentiments.
Yeah, I just heard damn. Brian,
Hello?
Hello?
There you are.
Hello? Hey, this is Don.
Don, I'm sorry.
How'd he put you down as Brian? What's up,
I
Don?
said the bad word because I thought you was going to somebody else.
Oh, what's up,
I
Don?
already heard more than I wanted to hear, but a friend of mine called because I've been on the Whitewater for over 2 years, and I'm glad somebody finally woke up. There's been a lot of disinformation about Whitewater. Whitewater started, who was the black county commissioner that ran for mayor?
Elton Dean?
Elton Dean pushed this to try to get him elected. It first came from the daughter of somebody over at the Chamber of Commerce. They came up with this idea that they could get money from rental equipment to get a bond. They came out and they first said this thing was going to be $30-something million. That's what they said the bond for. But the mayor's office at that time, strange, they said there's no way you could build this thing for less than $80 million. They went out for bids, and the bids, nobody would bid it for what they wanted. So they entered into a contract with Jesco, which cost plus. Oops, he said $20 million, but it wasn't that. But they lied, and the biggest liar right now is Doug Singleton. He's the only one that's put his face with this thing. But Singleton claimed that Jesco was just going to do it for a price. I said, let me see the contract. For 2 weeks, I pushed him in the contract. And right on the contract, it said it would be cost plus.
Yep.
The plus to be determined at the end of construction. They built this thing on something called cooperative district. You know what that is?
Generally speaking, yeah. The Montgomery County Community Cooperative District.
But it's in the state law.
Right.
To allow people to come together to build things. The idea was to build schools and stuff like that, where counties and stuff like that can come together. But there's no bid in this thing. We gave all this money to a group of people that was on a board, and to build this thing. They never did say it was a park. They allowed blacks to think it was going to be a water park, but it's always just going to be a whitewater thing, a cement ditch over there that don't even use water from the river. It's there's no demographic for the thing, but we don't know anything about it because everything belongs to the cooperative district. We don't know how much money it's losing. We don't know what the salaries are. I saw where I was told that they got a budget of $360,000. The county and them had to come up because the thing is losing money. And that doesn't even count the money that they're paying back loans for.
I think the losses are over $2 million.
Huh?
I think they're in the red over $2 million.
How many million?
2.
At least.
I don't know what there ain't nothing $2 million about Whitewater. It's over $100 million that you can't.
Oh, no, I mean in terms of just the operating budget. Like, did the thing actually make money?
Yeah.
You're talking about hundreds of millions. You're right, in terms of all the startup and construction.
It costs $100 an hour to run one of those pumps out there.
Right.
Yep.
And then the chemical treatment
So
and so many other things you got to do to keep it going.
You got the guy named James Harrell that's on the board that wanted a black friend to get a contract out there. The guy had already been run off Alabama State and has a lawsuit against Alabama State. So they ran him off the project out there. Instead of having Jesco eat the bill and fight it, they paid this guy out on he sued him, and they paid off the suit, and they closed the suit. You don't even know how they paid. But the funny thing is, he sued him and claimed it was racial bias that he was being treated.
Yeah,
when
Gil
they all
Berry.
came out, they said, they came out and they said how wonderful this thing is going to be for all the folks and everything. What Montgomery Whitewater needs right now is a financial, what's the audit where the
forensic audit.
Where you look at it.
Forensic
they
audit.
need a forensic audit.
Yeah, I agree.
Had one of my congressman said they was working to get it. I've tried everything in the world. I've tried calling the attorney general. I'm telling you, the crooks out there, and the number one crook right now is Doug Singleton. He's the only one going around trying to sell it. If you listen to these people, Whitewater wasn't built for
for fun or anything like that. It was built for all the business that's going to break. Where is there a hotel over there? Not one hotel. Where's the business has it brought in? You know, the restaurant, they talked about having a chef, worldwide chef. He was gone within 2 weeks of the opening, and they brought in the barbecue place downtown to set up in there. It is a loser. It's going to always be a loser. And the only people that might buy it is the Indians, and on 10 cents on the dollar.
I think that's exactly what's going on.
But they've lied to the Indians. They told the Indians they were going to get gambling set up for them to build a hotel, and they've also told them they were going to build a highway off 65 into the park. Whitewater is a lie. It's been a lie from everything, and it is stealing from the people of Montgomery. It needs a forensic audit, and the person that needs to be looked at is Doug Singleton. He is the head crook on this whole deal.
Well, I appreciate the call, Don. Really do. 272-9228. No, I just was reminding myself. I penned an op-ed in June of last year. Sad. Montgomery Whitewater accused of $4 million worth of racism. But, I just want to read the beginning of this, just so we're on the record, Eddie.
Okay.
Quoting myself, I've consistently asserted that were I a member of the Montgomery County Commission, I would have balked at the Montgomery Whitewater project. Yet now that tens of millions of taxpayer dollars have been funneled into this public trough, I can't help but hope the endeavor doesn't become another over-budget, government-backed initiative that devours more of the economic pie that it generates. Regrettably, such naive hopes for the project have progressively given way to disheartening realities. The moment the trough was filled, a feeding frenzy commenced, and financial shortfalls promptly followed. That, again, I wrote that in June of last year.
I just remember all the heat we took for being open, honest conversation and openly said the numbers don't match. This ain't going to work. All the heat that we took for that, to the point I just shut up about it.
Well, and there's a great quote from our buddy, Judge Andrew Napolitano.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton agreed on little publicly, but they did agree that when the public treasury becomes a public trough and the voters recognize that, they will send to the government only those who promise them a bigger piece of the government pie. I would correct that quote and say it's not voters necessarily. It's folks who, know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the person who helped get this going is now the head of state economic development. Last name McNair.
Yep. You are so correct, Joey. But here's what we talk about all the time. When you have systematic failure in the government, they do nothing about it except promote up.
Yeah.
That's it.
Closing ranks.
It's OPP, baby. Other people's property.
It kills me to no end. Again, as children, when they see this, they see these kind of things that, wait a minute, our government does these wrong things all the time. Why are they telling me to be a great citizen when we're one of the biggest crooks in the world? All that's catching up.
And I've also heard that the place this is modeled off of in North Carolina,
don't even get me started.
Which has a much bigger population base. Like they have NFL teams, and
they actually are a home of whitewater rafting.
Yeah,
and I've heard the place that this is modeled off has never made money.
It hasn't, and I said that from the day they talked about this place. I said, if you look at your model, because there's a whole article about it, they do concerts, they do everything under the sun, and they still lose money.
So this all started because I was going to ask the mayor on the show today, how much more is the city going to give? What's your performance metric? What's success look like? You're right. No, but it's a question that needs to be asked. If this thing is, you got, number one, all the upfront money, all the operating to stand this thing up, and now it's still in the red. What you going to do about it? I'm not the one sitting on the city council or county commission or in the halls of government. I think Don made the great point. And it's going to have to come from the state level.
Yeah,
I think a forensic audit is in order.
No doubt. But I think they'll
because
fight that
when it
tooth
doesn't
and nail.
work economically, it makes you go, okay, who benefits? It's like we were asking Senator Brett about how screwed up Congress is. And well, if it is so screwed up, who benefits from the screw up?
Something we learned a long time ago, Joey, as teenagers, follow the money.
Yeah.
Follow the money.
Serious question. When does cronyism become criminal?
Well, that's a good question.
Conspiracy?
mean, everything we've talked about that's publicly available is not, in my humble opinion, criminal. Again, this cooperative district thing is in state law. They're not just doing it in Montgomery. It's all over the place. These sort of schemes are popping up. It would become criminal if people are getting kickbacks. I'm not accusing anybody of that, but that's where the line is. And that's why you need something like a forensic audit. You can look into stuff like that.
But to me, that should be a transparent deal all the time. If government really wanted the people to believe it, there's not an entity out there I shouldn't be able to go to my phone, my computer, and pull up a P&L statement for any type of government project. But they'll never do that because they all lose money, except for the politician. Never lose. Play both sides, you never lose.
272-9228. I wasn't really planning on talking about this, but here we are.
Glad I got a bed this morning, man.
Sometimes you just start talking and, the topics present themselves, so to speak. It's like some implicit order to things. You okay? You just put out a big sigh there.
Reality. We're good.
Like that was a Mr. Ed. It was like
big dose of reality. We're good, though.
Yeah. This part of the program brought to you by great folks there at Dillon Rings. And at Dillon Rings, Josh and Leslie Ryder are ready to help you as a full-service jewelry shop. That means they can do repairs. That means they can do spa treatments, like clean up that jewelry, make maybe it's a ring that you love, but it's gotten old. It's sort of lost its shine and shimmer. Well, it can be like brand new again.
Oh, yeah.
That's how good Josh Ryder is at that stuff.
Well, also, when you got something like that, you don't know the value, he can give you an appraisal.
Right.
And we were talking about the price of gold now. It is skyrocketing.
Yeah, they are buying gold.
Yeah, you need to know at least what that rock you got in your hand is worth, because maybe you have insurance on it and you don't have it insured enough.
Well, somebody came in this morning, and it was like just stuff they had in a drawer they used to wear. Like I'm looking at it now. It's like necklaces and earrings and just stuff. It's a little faded now. You could tell it's been in a drawer. $1,400.
Woo!
They walked out.
They just had $1,400 laying in the drawer?
Yeah, gold is doing all right. Wow. And again, also reminder, folks, save the date. Their annual Ladies' Night at Dillon Rings is their Diamonds and Pearls event.
Yep.
Good song. Is coming up November 7th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. There will be a limited number of gift bags, catered treats, and refreshments. Extra discounts and inventory only during that event. And with Christmas only 76 days away, or I think it's even less now.
I think, yeah.
Like 70.
I think, yeah.
Days, it was something like that.
Wow.
Less than 70. Man, this year's flying by. But with Christmas right around the corner, that event on November 7th will be perfect timing to start filling up your wish list and your stockings. So check them out today. You can always go to DillonRings.com or go see Dillon Rings on Facebook or Instagram, but I really encourage you to stop by their showroom at 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie and Byron, those fellas on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
The new 2025 models are arriving at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. But to make sure you get the one you want, call 334-285-9300. They're selling before they get to the dealership, so be sure you get yours locked in today. Larry Puckett also has the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the river region. There's still a lot of football left. If you don't trust your old clunker to get you to Auburn, Tuscaloosa, Troy, and the away games, a vehicle from Larry Puckett's pre-owned inventory will get you where you want to go. Larry Puckett always lets their customers do the talking, and you will certainly want everyone to know about the great prices, selection, and service once you buy from Larry Puckett Chevrolet. Stop by and see them on Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville, or shop them online at LarryPuckett.com. The new 2025 models are arriving at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. Pick yours out today. Shop them online at LarryPuckett.com. Larry Puckett Chevrolet, Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Oh, man. We could have talked to the mayor about Trump's Arnold Palmer remarks.
I like an Arnold Palmer.
Do you? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the Trump quote at the rally?
No. You talking about the lemonade and tea?
No, he's talking about the golfer.
Well, that's who it's named after.
Yeah, right. But he said, you go back into the locker room and guys are like, that's a lot of man right there.
Ooh. Mr. President.
It's so unbecoming. How about propping up an old man pooping his pants and then doing a switcheroo when he dies on stage? That's unbecoming. Yeah. How about starting more wars, spending more money, and screwing this country into oblivion? How about that's unbecoming? Look, I use proper etiquette when I'm in public places, so I'm a good person. I'm a dirty dog behind the scenes, but at least if I keep it prim and proper.
Only screw you over when you're not looking.
Break. Hey, let's go to Simpler Days. Hey, Simpler
Hey,
Days.
Simpler Days.
Hey, I wonder if old Arnold's got hairy legs. Who might have seen him? But anyway. Hey, I wonder why the mayor, if he would have been on today, I would have loved to ask him why he doesn't contribute some of that $6 million annually he's going to send to the Shakedown boys in Chicago. He could contribute some of that to the Whitewater Park.
So the crime intervention, let's just put it all into the Whitewater.
Yeah, or one of his $25,000, $15,000 speaking fees, he could donate some of that money to the cause. It's such a worthy, solid project. But, gentlemen, we are in this country are suffering from a terrible social ill, and that is dirty, rotten, lying, cheating politicians.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the people that support them financially.
Exactly.
Well, it's a symbiotic relationship.
Sure. Yeah, no, it is. That's a fantastic point, actually, because everybody's like, we got to get money out of politics. It's like you try making a bunch of money in this country without the politicians getting into you.
I have to
give me a break.
I was listening to the show yesterday while I was driving a little bit, and to the gentleman who said we have term limits or called elections every year.
Mm-hmm.
To not acknowledge that 94% of incumbents get reelected. We don't exactly have free elections.
Yeah, it's true, but at least
I got hairy legs. Well, that's why when Trump came down that night and said he was going to drain the swamp, that's why the Republicans and Democrats both came after him and still are, because that is too much money to be lost to one man. So we can't have that. But the right way to have done this thing, gentlemen, was like they did in Miami. A very rich family donated to the city of Miami this golf course with a lot of land adjacent to it. So the city of Miami said, let's look at 3 or 4 projects we could put in there, and then we will let the people vote on which project they want. And we'll come up with a budget for each one and let them vote on it. But see, these dirty, rotten, lying, cheating politicians around here don't want to do that because
They're in the clique. And the clique decides, not the voters, what's good for us. Have a good day.
Appreciate it,
See you
sir.
separate days.
Let's go to Branch. Hey, Branch.
Hey guys, how are y'all?
Pretty good. How you doing, Branch?
Good. So I just jumped in the car and had heard about 3 words, Joey talking, and so I had to call. So let me preface what I'm going to say or how I say it. Haven't really thought about getting my thoughts together, but I did want to comment. You were talking about the Whitewater, and I'm not here to endorse it or slam it either. I think you made several points, Joey. I think your main point was it looks like maybe it was questionable spending. Let me say this: when we were trying to redevelop downtown, I was hired by then Mayor Bright as the director of downtown Riverfront, and that was the amphitheater, the train shed, obviously the baseball stadium, Court Square, all of those venues down there. And our job was, first of all, I created a staff. I hired a bunch of folks, not a bunch, we had about 10 on staff and part-timers. And our job was to bring people downtown and to use our facilities. And those facilities, the baseball stadium spoke for itself. But, prior to the baseball stadium, you could go downtown on any given weekend, and it was a ghost town.
Yep,
I mean, you may be able to count the people on one hand that you would see in a 20-block radius. Now it's completely opposite. It's slammed down there all the time, and I think we were really successful in getting that thing moving. But we had
Real
to put
quick,
money.
I said that earlier in the show. I think you're right about that.
Oh yeah, and I just want people to look at this from a different mindset too. We would try to do concerts and events down at Riverfront, and I was always asked the question by higher up, "Are you making money? Are you making money?" And I used to fight this all the time. I said, "Look, the city has an obligation to its citizens to produce entertainment and keep them safe and keep them safe from fire and crime and all these other things. Not all of most venues that a city owns and maintains, they don't make money. They're expensive. You got to air condition them. You got a maintenance contract with them. And so, obviously, though, the hindsight is you don't want to bleed money. You don't want to have a venue that costs you, $5 million a year to maintain, and it brings in nothing. Obviously, that's not my point. But people need to look at venues as not just a money generator, but also a source of entertainment for the citizens that live within the city. And so when you look at that, the riverboat's a prime example. I was there when we brought the riverboat over from Savannah. I coordinated that entire trip. And, it was a money pit. I mean, we got, I think Savannah had 3 riverboats. They dumped the worst one on us. We didn't really know what we were buying. But we made the best of it. We got it repaired. We did a lot of cool things on it. And we tried to market it as, you can, matter of fact, we've got it wired with satellite radio down there, have big screen TVs. We had meetings. Chamber of Commerce used it for meetings. It's a really cool thing, but it didn't make money. I mean, we do cruises, but it's a lot of fun. And so when you're looking at that, look at it also from the standpoint of, hey, this is a cool venue to have. Again, I'm not endorsing Whitewater. I don't know much about it.
Yeah, and it's a little different because it sounds like you were directly working for the city.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we, and so, you want things to offer your citizens in form, in not only venues, but attractions within the venue. And I think, overall, city does a pretty good job. We did the wine festival. They're still doing that now. But yeah, I understand the concern with Whitewater. It certainly was, and there's still a lot of unanswered questions with it. No question about it. But I just wanted to make that point. And, again, I appreciate y'all's program. You guys are great. Listen to you every chance I get.
Well, thank you, Brian. Appreciate the call, man.
And I will say, like with the stadium and the revitalization downtown, me personally, I love that. I thought it was great. It's the only way we were going to get draft beer in Montgomery. We had to bring in a baseball stadium. And to me, I don't know the numbers, but it's been successful.
No, I saw downtown transform in my lifetime.
Yeah. I mean, mine too, very much so.
Again, you hit it. You were directly held accountable because you were working for the city. And he used the term muddy pit. I think, when someone's given a role like Branch had, the number one job, even though, everything's not going to make money, you don't want to create your own money pit.
Right.
You get the taxpayer on the hook and continue to throw good money after that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I'm also more than willing to understand when it's a huge project. Maybe you don't make money the first few years.
You got to see something, man.
But right, it depends.
Right.
Like even how much are you in the red? Like what are your projections for next year? What's the trend? You know,
How many people can go to a baseball stadium? About 3,500, 2,500, somewhere in that range. How many people are taking advantage of this? 4, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not rocket scientists, but you don't have to be.
But now, I mean, we got it. What are we going to do with it?
Sell it back
for $1.
Oh, we'll see.
I'll give them $1.25 right now.
272-9228. Hey, let's hit another break.
Right.
And play a clip of a big billionaire talking about how he's long on gold and Bitcoin.
Oh.
Interesting stuff.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
This is James Cole with Cole Plumbing, and I want to thank Blue Water Broadcasting. I have been advertising with them for several years, and they have brought me quality business. I really appreciate them.
Our advertisers are our biggest advocates. Call us to find out how radio can increase your bottom line. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Make it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Hi, everybody. We need some rain, but there's no raindrops in our future anytime soon. Meanwhile, temperatures continue to recover with clear skies tonight. The overnight low temperature falls to about 54. More sunshine, comfortable humidity tomorrow with a high temperature up to about 83. In fact, I think we'll be in the middle 80s Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and probably Saturday as well with abundant sunshine and 50s at night with clear skies. Even Sunday is still dry with a high in the lower 80s and lots of sun. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Exciting times at Capital Tractor, your hometown Kubota dealer. John Bobo here. Construction is almost complete on our new Montgomery location, but until then, our moving sale continues with great Kubota deals. Don't miss it. Capital Tractor, Montgomery and Brundage.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program.
That's why I like you, Joey. That's why I like you.
Let's go to this clip. This is a guy named Paul Tudor Jones. He was live on Squawk Box. But, it's interesting seeing one of these big players, he's a billionaire investor, start coming around to, say, harder forms of money.
very long on harder forms of money, including Bitcoin, the new kid on the block.
Are you off buying gold and Bitcoin and
I
hiding
think
somewhere?
all roads lead to inflation. We're going to end up
But does all roads lead to inflation? Therefore, gold is a good investment. Is Bitcoin a good investment to you?
I'm long gold. I'm long Bitcoin. I think commodities are so ridiculously underowned. So I'm long commodities. I think most young people find their inflation hedges via the NASDAQ. That's also been great. It's probably some combination. I probably have some basket of gold, Bitcoin, commodities, and NASDAQ, something like that. And I would own zero fixed income. If I had my cash, it'd be very short term. The playbook to get out of this, you see it in Japan right now. They have 2% inflation, 30 basis points overnight. They don't want to raise rates. The playbook to get out of this is that you inflate your way out and you have a small tax on the consumer and you run interest rates and nominal growth rate, interest rates below inflation and nominal growth above inflation. And that's how you reduce your debt to GDP. So you're going to have the Fed they should be easy. They should be
easy. You want them to cut.
So just real quickly, every 100 basis points, given where our debt to GDP right now, every 100 basis points is worth about $90 billion a year to the deficit. $90 billion. So yes, if we're trying to stabilize debt to GDP, we want to run the most dovish monetary policy that we can without letting inflation become too much of a tax on the citizenry. So yes, all roads lead to inflation. That's historically the way every civilization has gotten out, is they've inflated away their debts.
I think that's a smart guy. I think he's a billionaire for all sorts of good reasons there, at least from that short clip. I don't know who that is.
He's a billionaire because he's smarter than most people, but some of that seemed counterintuitive.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, it means what we've been doing, though, inflating away debt.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing he said about so long as that inflation doesn't become too much of a burden on...
You're right.
Yeah.
It's already there.
Yeah, so...
It's been there.
This is kind of theory and where the rubber meets the road, so to speak.
Yeah, and that could be he's a billionaire. He isn't feeling it like the guy making 40 a year.
Blood on the street, man.
Right. Heck, the guy making 70 a year, depending on certain parts of the country, that's really, really tough. Like, can you imagine how much you think you got to make to really live in a big city now? Especially not one that's in the South.
Yeah,
like,
it depends on where you're at. In the South, I forget how many years ago it was, probably 10, 15 years ago, but the survey was $70,000 or more for a single person to live comfortably. And that was here in the South, where we know things are a little bit cheaper. Yeah, I think in New York, what was it, a 700 square foot apartment was going to rent for, I think, $1,900 to $2,200 a month. No kitchen, no nothing, like literally you walk in and that's your room. That's everything. So in places like that, I couldn't imagine. I know Barstool, they start their guys out at $100,000 a year and they struggle in New York. I mean, it's a struggle.
I remember when I was looking for jobs out of college, there were some like magazines and stuff you could write for, and the starting, I'm like, man, starting 125 or 110. And then you look at cost of living, you're like, oh, damn.
Yeah, that's why a lot of them, I think when they did that big change up there, a lot of them moved to Chicago. It's a little cheaper, but not much.
And then this is a complete tangent. But I saw a clip where it's a guy talking to like these women. I'll leave it there.
Okay.
They're not like your mom, though, or the girl next door, or, the person you see at church. I mean, these were...
working women?
I don't think they were that far, but they were kind of model types, heavily makeup, sexy dresses,
Out of touch.
Party girls?
Little slutty. And it's one of these podcasts where the guy is talking to
I know this podcast.
The chicks. Well, no, this is a different one than that whatever podcast.
Okay. I had a podcast that fit in this genre.
But this guy was like talking to all these girls like, wait, y'all all want a guy
Yep, I know this
who
podcast.
makes over 6 figures.
Yeah.
You all want a guy who's over 6 foot tall. I'm forgetting the third one. What do they want? This is why I have a problem.
And a lot of them want X amount of allowance, period. But yeah, they want what, I hate saying it this way, I'm a pig. But they want what their looks can't get them.
Is this the same one that the guy says, but none of the guys want y'all?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, the other one I forgot because it has to do, well, how are you like Arnold Palmer? It's like over, let's say 6. It's 6. So you want somebody over 6 foot, somebody who's,
Six figures.
Yeah. Yeah, six figures, and you can figure out the other six folks, but it has something to do with Arnold Palmer, what Trump just said. They hit me on my hands, and, they said I had small hands, but, guarantee you there's no problem here. The guy pointed out to him, like, it's about 15% of the male population makes over six figures, is over 6 feet, and is over, 6 the other one. It's only like 15%, and they're all kind of like flabbergasted. And I think this is partly also what's going on with our society. It's not just the direct cultural, like the pushing of the feminizing of men and like, the sitcom dad phenomenon, all the stupid bumbling guy, or the Doug Emhoffs or the Tim Walz presentation you're seeing with the Kamala campaign. There is that cultural push from, say, cultural power centers. But I think economically, some of the hardest hit, and it's why I think they're going towards Trump, are working class men.
Mm-hmm.
And the more working class men don't have opportunities to make, say, in the South, over 70 grand, what woman wants them? Or if they do want them for a second, because we got fun together, we love each other, but then you get 5-10 years into that thing, and he's still that loser that, is working that same job, and you start thinking about other things. It's created a huge problem. If you look at folks who make over six figures, who are doing well, upper middle class or elite, divorce rates are actually pretty low. And also those folks who make a lot of money doing well, and they are very deeply devout in their faith. Like you look at, say, Orthodox Jews and Catholics, for instance, very low divorce rates, especially when they're making a good bit of money. It is working class people who are hit the hardest. So it's not just, I don't get to have nice things. It's not just, I can't afford eggs or bacon anymore.
Squeezed.
It's also, who wants to live together? And then you add to it, this just dump all these temptations the internet now provides, or all the substances that are legal and illegal out there. It's a mess for everyday people. I think the first time in years you actually saw a decline in drug overdoses. That just came out today.
I didn't see that.
But hopefully that trend continues. But there's so many deaths of despair, so many problems. And if you're somebody out there trying to actually make money, put things together, don't take my financial advice, I'm a fancy idiot, but I'm very happy that I am long Bitcoin. From over this past year, I'm very happy. I'm not sitting on a huge chunk of change, but I'm doing well in terms of, let's say, returns. And everybody who is long Bitcoin is doing well in terms of returns. There's some folks I gave advice to about a year or two ago saying, yeah, if you can buy a whole one, you're all right. Michael Saylor is the Bitcoin kind of John the Baptist. He's more like just own a tenth of a Bitcoin.
Just get skin in the game.
Which is about $7,000 right now.
Put skin in the game.
So but also I would listen to diversify a little bit, commodities, gold, these sorts of things. But if you can't even if you're a minimum wage person or you're just an hourly wage person, you can't even put this stuff together. That's almost an insulting conversation to have.
But that being said, when you talk about hourly wage people, like I've told you before at Hyundai and other factories, they have 401k systems set up for people.
People don't pay in.
Less than 50%. We would have these meetings, educate, and what it was, it's just short. From my short-term thing.
It's high time preference. I want it now.
Yeah.
I want it now. I want it now. And you're not thinking through, I want to be a better me 10 years from now.
Well, a lot of people's thought was, if I put that Social Security or put that 401k, the government is going to take it from me. They just, because Social Security, that's the theory. They took Social Security, they're going to take this too. But to me, it's short-term thinking, and along with life insurance. So many people, to me, this is common sense. They should teach everyone this in school. So many people, when they're the man of the house or the woman, the main breadwinner, when they die, that household dies because they have not set up life insurance. And life insurance is, like it or not, it is a necessary evil. It can really make or break a family. And I just see it all the time where people, they don't even have the money to bury. I'm thinking all you had to do was set out a little old life insurance policy.
And then you start thinking about, okay, what is taught in terms of financial literacy in, say, public school?
And they've done that way for a reason. It's done that way for a reason.
Make our sprockets, man.
Yep. Right. That's exactly right.
So you either go into, some loan shark, or you just join the guild. You become part of the system. And those are some of the best benefits around.
Yeah.
It's just a mess. Every which way you look around our society, things, in my humble opinion, don't make common sense.
No.
And it's sort of he said it. This is how civilizations kind of go belly up.
Fall apart. Yeah. And the sad thing is, we're three people, three guys. I won't say we're the smartest three people in the United States, but we see it.
Right.
Come on, we see it.
Right. We're jackasses on some local radio.
Right.
But the good news is you can find people that millions of people following them. People that are comedians, people that are entrepreneurs, business people, folks who are getting into politics. I think there are a lot of people seeing the same problem.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now becoming the question of, okay, at first it was everybody needs to recognize the problem. It's now, okay, we all kind of recognize it. What do we do?
What can we do about it?
And that's, once people start asking that question, again, there's sort of a implicated order to things that once you start asking that question, an answer is right around the corner.
What I'm watching, all right, so you got your jersey wearers 1 foot or squarely in one camp versus the other. And then I think you have your more enlightened voters who understand that once you get outside the little local arena, that it really is just about the money behind the scenes.
Right.
And whenever the American dream died, I think that's whenever people just really got super frustrated.
Well, and then you look at how this affects, we're not having children. And I'm still don't have children, but it's like we're not getting past the replacement rate. And when you look at how much folks are just going paycheck to paycheck, and then you look how much it costs to raise a kid, even if you're putting them in a public system.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So you don't buy your parents or grandparents advice. You'll never be able to afford them. Just have kids, and you'll figure it out.
I think there is now moving away from financial common sense. There is something about, say, the biblical call to adventure that, I think me in particular, I need to answer that call. And I think there are a lot of people that way, where you sort of, you're getting by, but you haven't really gone for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think there is, even when it doesn't make sense, there's some virtue in having a little faith and taking that leap. But, we'll see in the fullness of time. Hey,
faith might be all we have.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Independent Glass has been your one-stop shop for all things glass since 1978. They offer a full range of architectural products, and they're armed with the knowledge and expertise to get even the most demanding job done, big or small. Attention to detail, 24-hour replacement services, and their uncompromising commitment to excellence is why Montgomery's first choice for all things glass is Independent Glass. Call them today at 263-2823 and learn more about what they can do for you at independentglassco.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great. I've been busy as bee all day long. Got a couple reps in here. She busted me last time she came in, so I'm trying to be really nice to her. I was taking a rack out back, put it out back so I could put this vinyl plank I bought half off on in the showroom to make a display out of that. And that's the last thing a rep wants to see, you taking the rack out the back door.
It's true.
And she's really the one of the best reps I have. And I'm not saying that because her boss is with her. She really is. So if y'all are in need of vinyl plank, they've got incredible colors, incredible pricing, If you come in here today, we'll be glad to show it to you. Or call us at 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement.
And you still doing that drawing? Folks need to stop by the store to get into?
Yes, if you are in the need or have a family member in a need. So if you win this, it doesn't necessarily have to go into your home. Let's say you have a child that's remodeling, and you're like, hey, I can swing by there and put my name in. Come on, put your name in. We'll put it in, you put it in your kid's house. You got a lake house or something that you want to redo, whatever. It's a beautiful top, up to 75 feet. So, but you're going to have to come by the store to put your name in. That's my only caveat. You got to stop by. And I'm sorry, you're going to have to talk to Terry, and I know he's Scottish, and yeah, I get it.
So y'all stop by 2201 Copsford Road or call them about that LVP. Really great product. 285-8117. And when you call 285-8117, be sure to tell them you heard Ray on the radio.
Hey, guys, have a great day.
You too, Ray. See you, brother.
So, do we learn anything today?
A little bit about water park.
Yeah, the white water part.
Yeah.
Learned a little bit.
Learned a little bit.
Yeah, we didn't, we could have just done a show where we talked about Trump being at McDonald's.
We could have spent the entire show doing that, between the memes and the things that are coming out, people calling him out because it was staged, and people not surprised that it was staged because that's generally how these things do.
How about this? Fewer than 3 in 10 Georgia men back Kamala Harris for president. It's like 28%. This is from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Do you remember a young man we spoke with? And what he said, I'm telling you, that to me rings so true.
That's crazy.
Yep.
There's other surveys coming out. Trump leads Kamala by 11 points with Latina voters, 48-37 nationwide.
39, what'd you say?
48-37.
Okay, I saw one that was 39,
wow.
19.
Ooh. Now, there was a bone being thrown to him by Harry Enton on CNN to the Democrats that Trump seems to be not as strong with his old base, which would be non-college educated whites.
Right.
But I think they were comparing the current polling to the exit polling, like you need to show the actual result. And maybe he is softening there, and that gives a little bit glimmer of hope for Kamala.
I don't think so. No. I think they
if you
doubled
keep
down.
going down in that, it shows like how much more she's underperforming.
Right.
And getting back to people just being, upset and throwing their hands up. I think that's probably the group largest affected.
Yep.
It's crazy. So the momentum's moving a particular way. That's obvious. And you leave aside the numbers, the way Trump is having fun. And apparently it came out he's going to be on Rogan Friday.
Yep, Friday.
And that is going to be a
so
media
it's going to
event
set
of
the
the
internet
decade.
on fire over the weekend.
That is going to be a media event of the decade. I wonder how many millions will be watching.
As much as, and Rogan said he didn't want to put Trump on before because it's funny. He said he doesn't want to get that involved in the politics. But I think pressure and
I think Elon helps a lot of other folks around him help a lot.
I think Elon lubed the tracks on this one, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway,
I just want to tell Elon I plan on voting.
Yeah. How do we get in on that $1 million giveaway?
The judge kind of has a point there, but it's not who you vote for. It's what issues do you support, and you registered to vote.
I support me winning $1 million.
Yeah. Anyway, y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Bedell. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. An official with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards charged in a plot to kill an Iranian-American author on U.S. soil. Ruhollah Bazhandi charged in an updated indictment filed today in New York.